Yep. Yeah, I agree. Yep, thank you. 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 Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yep, thank you.
Big match tonight between GameFace
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yep, thank you.
First quarter. Big match tonight between GameFace
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yep, thank you.
back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight between GameFace back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight between back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight between back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight between back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter. Big match tonight back in round 9. This is tap down. First quarter
Yes.
Players tackle in position. Opportunity holding the ball. Attacking 50. Players tackle in position. Opportunity holding the ball. Attacking 50. Players tackle in position. Opportunity holding the ball. Shot at goal, but it's out of bounds on the full. Or is it a boundary throw? It might be a boundary throw in about 15 metres around from Narre Warren's goal. They're 1-5-11. They trail the Cranbourne Eagles, who are 2-1-13.
It's a beautiful complex here, isn't it?
It is lovely.
The netball courts behind us and the ground.
It's going to be a free kick here, coach, to Narre Warren's Trent Cody. Wearing the green boots, not sure. He'll centre it up. He's got a player all on his own at centre half forward who comfortably takes the mark. Was told to go back and kick it again, kick over the mark, and that was Michael Collins. He's had a lot of the footy so far. So Cody hard on the boundary. And he will be. This time he kicks across the face towards centre half forward, and there's an excellent mark taken. Shouldn't really be 50 because the Cranbourne player was hanging on, but the mark has been paid. And it'll go to Jackson, who's at left half forward.
So he's got to aim this basically, I would say, at the behind post on the left-hand side, because that wind, whilst it's strong, it's going to push it straight across the face of the goal.
It's a good-looking kick. It's a fantastic kick. And the Magpies are back in front with their second goal. Lovely left foot kick from left half forward. 2-5-17 right in front of the old-fashioned scoreboard, which is a treat here at Narre Warren. 2-1-13, a 4-point lead to the top team deep in the first quarter in this SEFNL match, first against third.
He obviously listened to us then, because that's exactly what he did. He just pushed it to the left and it just drifted across on the wing. I reckon the reason for that wayward goal kicking, well, here's a word I love to use, Dan, profligate, which is wasteful. Don't you love that word? Profligacy, anyway.
I do like it, Coach. Yeah. They've been profligate. The kick out of the middle by Cody was smothered for Narre Warren, but they've got numbers through Cox, but he runs into a brick wall and is penalised, and there'll be a Cranbourne free kick, and that'll be taken by Cavalot. Cavalot will kick towards half forward, halts his target, he's got the field to beat, fist away by Zeetzman, goes to the back of the pack, but they've got numbers at the ball, Cranbourne. The big fellow, Maruzic, went to pick it up, he lost control of it, and out of defence. Good play by McNamara, gets the hand pass in front of our commentary box and taking it for Narre Warren. Good play on that occasion was Tom Miller. And now they keep going, and McNamara receives again. He kicks right into the middle of the ground. Good use of the footy. Handballs comes out now to Dylan Quirk, and that's good footy by Narre Warren, straight down the middle. Quirk was superb, and on the end of it, marking on his chest for the Narre Warren Football Club is Brandon Osborne.
Once again, he's going to have to do the same. Of course, not as acute an angle as that other goal, the goal previous, but he's going to definitely have to aim it
to the left and let the wind take it across. What would you say, 50 metres, Dan?
I think so. I should say Trent Papworth. He's on the left.
And that's what he's done. He's curved it across.
And that is a magnificent kick, fading from left to right, and that's the third goal on the board for Narre Warren, who are 3-5-23 to 2-1-13, a 10-point lead for the Magpies. So they've kicked a couple of late goals close to quarter time after Cranbourne had wrested the lead from them, when Narre Warren were wasteful early in that quarter as Anthony Valla gets ready to come on. And Jared Barker's not far away either. We interviewed Anthony Valla as part of the GameFace app out at Cranbourne a few weeks ago. Jerry Kelly and the guys out there certainly made us feel welcome as they continue to wait to find out where their football future will be next year. Tapped out of the middle, picked up on this occasion by Shinners. High kick for Narre Warren towards centre half forward. It's fisted down again. Have they got the Rovers, the Magpies? They do. Hand pass comes out on this occasion from Dempster. And then there's a flying shot towards the goals. It's rolling, but rolls the wrong way for a behind. And it's 3-6-24 Narre Warren. Cranbourne 2-1-13.
They're going to need, I reckon, Dan, at least a couple of goals to say that they've won this quarter, to be ahead at least 2 or 3 goals, because there is 3 goals in that win.
Kick back into play. Very strong mark taken by Cranbourne, and Michael Wen marking at half back. Just near the social club rooms on the commentary side of the ground. Lowers the eyes, kicks in short. No mark taken. Nearly got as far as Shinners, who's laying a tackle and getting support from his teammate, who also holds up an opponent in Jake Richardson, another one of the tall key position players for this Narre Warren Magpies side. Shinners goes up, taps it down again, does well. Pack forming near him. He's opposed in the ruck to Michael Wen, and again it'll be thrown up. Almost wing. A 10-point lead at the moment to Narre Warren. Tap down Shinners. There's going to be a free kick. And play on, says the umpire. No. It'll come back now to the Narre Warren Magpies. It's taken by Skelzo. He kicks across the face towards the wing on the outer side, but they might turn this over. Good harassment by Cranbourne. They've got an opportunity to try and pick the ball up in the middle of the ground.
Beautiful pick up.
But that was a magnificent pick up by Narre Warren. They've got the numbers at the moment. That was by Ben King. And they share it again through Michael Collins. He kicks to half forward, but an easy mark taken by the Eagles on the outer side. They bring it down that outer side of the ground now. They've got runners. And a kick towards half forward, but bouncing away as the Magpies will clear again towards the middle of the ground. Good fist away by Cranbourne and getting his hand in that one and doing a good job as Cavalot. He got some support on the outside, and then it's kicked down towards the half forward flank. For the Eagles, hugging the boundary line, and King does well for Narre Warren to fist over the boundary. So it's out of bounds between wing and half forward.
I think what Narre Warren are doing, Dan, is they're trying to kick the ball long to use this win, but it's not quite working for them because they're turning it over pretty much every time.
Well, they're trying to go through the corridor, and when they can coach, it's working, but a lot of times it's not working for them either. It'll be thrown up. Inside attacking 50 for the Eagles against this breeze, down by 10 points. Shinners taps it backwards. He heard the voice, and then nothing is doing, and the umpire says, I'll throw it up. About 45 out from the Eagles' goal.
How's your eyesight? I've got glasses on. You've got binoculars. Beautiful. Well, it's not a beautiful day, but it's overcast, but still clear. I can see it over there, Dan.
Wen wins it down. Oh, a little bit, coach.
You're not as old as me.
Trying to burst through are the Eagles. Davies in there, but he can't get a clean possession. Cody as well for the Magpies. Cox, who's been pretty good so far for the Magpies, tapped down by Wen. But there are more black and white jumpers around that one, very close to the boundary on the outer side. A sea of cars behind them. 40 metres out. Another ball up. There's been a lot of stoppages in this match so far. When an open-handed slap, but it's read best by the Magpies. They'll clear out of defence. A high ball towards the halfback flank, and an excellent mark taken for Narre Warren by Jake Richardson. Richardson kicks down the line towards the wing. Scanlon tried to take the mark. He had it fisted away at an opponent right on his hammer and tack, and that's young Bertrand. Did very well for the Eagles on that occasion. Got support as well from Brandon Osborne, and it'll be thrown back into play right in front of the social club rooms here at Narre Warren. The Magpies are 3-6-24, and they lead Cranbourne 2-1-13.
How long we got to go in this quarter, Dan?
Just a few minutes, coach. Not too sure. As Wen taps it down. Here's a chance now for Stagg. Stagg went down and got one high, I think. He did stumble.
Pencon Garden Supplies and Mini Mix Concrete is a family-owned business that has served the Mornington Peninsula.
Inside 50. No, there's a mark taken down there. An excellent mark. And, gee, he's got a great pair of hands, Nick Scanlon. 6-time premiership player in this Narre Warren team. He's on a slight angle. Right half forward. His brother Stuart on this side as well. Number of sets of brothers, the Quirks as well.
Gee, that was a good grab though, Dan. Because
excellent. He had a lot of players around him.
He's gone up for it, and he took it on the second touch. It always amazed me how they get criticised for taking on the second touch. Well, who cares how many touches?
He's at right half forward, and that is a beautiful kick. It was heading left. It's faded back right. That is the best way to kick the footy here at Narre Warren. They obviously know what the wind is like here, and they've done an outstanding job, and it's quarter time, and what a goal by Nick Scanlon right on quarter time to give his team a very handy buffer of 17 points with the breeze, although 10 scoring shots to 3, the lead should be greater for the league leaders. They're 4-6-30. Their only loss this year was to the Eagles a few weeks ago at this ground, and Cranbourne at 2-1-13, and Nick Scanlon certainly causing some problems up forward for the Cranbourne Eagles. He's kicked 2. Mark Holt has got 1 for the Eagles so far after getting his 1000th goal last week. This is GameFace's coverage of the Sefnal, first against third. And incredibly last week, Coach, Cranbourne had a big win, but they dropped to second because Berwick's percentage went up a little bit more because of the fact that they were able to concede less points. And when you concede less points, your percentage is greater. It doesn't matter what the margin is, if you know what I mean. So they're 0.35%, Cranbourne behind Berwick at the moment on the same number of wins.
Well, we saw Berwick play Beaconsfield that day, and they probably lost a bit of percentage that day themselves when they had that game. Well, they had that game, they were up 45 points at one stage, weren't they? And then ended up winning by 17, and that was at Beaconsfield. That was the day you spoke to the great Michael Tuck.
I did.
Remember that? I've never seen you... Dan, I've known you how many years? 30 years. I've never seen you as fidgety as you were that day. You're a pretty fidgety sort of a guy anyway. But,
not relaxed.
You know, over the years, you and I have interviewed many people. And was that one where there's times where you go, oh, gee, I'm actually in awe of this guy? But you talk, looking at Michael Tuck, and everybody's walking around, and a lot of the locals knew him, but they were all sort of looking at him as if to go, well, you are a legend, and he's the nicest bloke, isn't he? In the world.
Outstanding.
It's a great interview. It's on the GameFace app.
Yeah, it is on the GameFace app. We've had a lot of views on that too, which is terrific.
The great Richie Benno did that to me one day. He's the only one of the few people that I've interviewed that I actually was a little bit nervous interviewing. But he signed his book for me. Good friend of ours, Billy, took me up to the at MCG one day, and we went and we signed it, and he said, "Thank you very much, Coach." And then
yeah, he's wonderful. I interviewed Wasim Akram, and I was very nervous interviewing him. He was brilliant. I remember doing a cricket match last year for Cricket Australia, the under-19s, before the World Cup over in New Zealand. I had a trial match, Pakistan and Australia, and he was there with the Pakistani boys, and I've never seen a group of people, and they're only young boys, in awe of someone. When he came in, they all just stood up and they were shaking his hand like he's royalty. Well, he is royalty, he's cricket royalty. And they were watching him, they were just fixated on him.
People ask me who in your opinion is the best bowler you've ever seen. Well, the best medium, quick, whatever swing bowler I've ever seen, and that includes Lily Thompson, was a Akram.
Yeah, brilliant.
He could do anything. But talking about interviews, you did a great interview today with the great Sean Graff when we were out at Pines. We're just, of course, in another league, but we're out in Pines, and you were emceeing an event. And I don't think a lot of people probably know that, of course, he played 11 games for Australia in the 1 days, but he was a very good footballer for Somerville.
He was. He was a fullback. He played a lot of good football over the years, and he did admit, and a lot of sportsmen don't admit, that he liked having a good time with his mates in Somerville. He loved the peninsula, and maybe he didn't...
Well, he was still playing footy for Somerville.
He was.
At the same time he was playing one-day cricket for Australia.
Maybe he didn't give himself enough of a chance.
Crazy. Well, we've all got regrets, Dan.
You
can't
No, you can't now.
We're here now, though. I still just think, I mean, you might say 17-point difference, they've won that quarter, but just looking now, I don't know, I think the win might have died down slightly. So... I suppose you take the win when you get it, because it can also turn around and go the other way. So you just never know. But I just think their wastefulness or profligacy in front of goal, Dan, might just let them down. Well, they were early in the game, and we're only a quarter in, and it's 4-6-30 to 2-1-13 to Narre Warren over Cranbourne.
Well, Narre knows his ground, and that's probably why there's an advantage for them at the moment. Mark Holt is obviously a key, but it's very interesting when Narre Warren are defending, because they're always putting 2 on him. He's a big man, as we know, and that's making it hard for him to have an influence, and other forwards are going to have to bob up for the Cranbourne team, and and just make sure that they're able to put their imprimatur on the contest to ensure that their team stays in touch, because even though he's a fine player, I don't think he can do it on his own.
Would you have Narre Warren as your flag favourites at this stage?
Well, I haven't seen enough of it, but I mean, they've only lost one game, that was to Cranbourne, and they've won all their other games quite comfortably. But Berwick are a great team defensively. They're able to stop teams from scoring. And I know you've got to kick goals to win, but you've also got to be very good defensively. And that's a vital aspect of winning football matches, especially finals. So at this stage, you'd have to say Berwick and Narre Warren for mine are the two best sides. Sorry, coach, I didn't mean to say that. I've used it once, I won't use it again. I know that's you're saying that you hate more than anything in this world.
I don't like. Why do people say for mine? When was the last time you said to your mate in the pub, for mine, I think I'll go and get us a beer? You never say that. Why do all the sports guys and all the journalists say for mine?
But that's the wrong usage of it.
Well, okay, you think of a usage you'd say to your mate in the pub. Would you be standing there going...
My shout.
No, say you're there talking about a game of footy, right, to your mate, like Cranbourne and Narre Warren, and you're going, well, when the day started, for mine, I thought Narre Warren were going, well, you wouldn't say that to a friend in the pub, would you? You'd say, I reckon, I think. So why do... But my bugbear, Dan... My bugbear, words that we don't need to use in the media. And media people do them because they're lazy. Another thing is, former Wimbledon champ. How can you be a former champ? You know the only reason journalists do that? Because they're lazy. They couldn't be bothered to look up and go, two-time Wimbledon champ or 2015 Wimbledon champ.
Yeah, former's not right.
Former. You can never be a former champ, can you?
You're always a champ, aren't you?
You're not a former Brownlow medalist. You're either a two-time Brownlow medalist or you give the year.
You're not a former premiership player, are you?
No.
You're a premiership player.
Two-time premiership player
or premiership player.
2012
Correct.
premiership player.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And I used to have that with my one of my, and he's probably not listening, my news director Kenny Kavanagh, when I worked at Fox FM back in the 90s, and he was a big bugbear for him as well. He said, "You never former anything." I mean, you can be a former. What's the word? A former world number one, because how can you go? Oh well, world number one for 265 weeks, then came back. You know that's a bit wordy, but you know what I mean. Or you can say, yeah, former world number one for 226.
Yeah, well that's a bit different because you were there and you're not there anymore.
But when you win something, it's yours. You can't take it away from them.
No, that's a very good point.
I know I'm being picky, but anyway, the game's about to start.
It is the second quarter, so some work for Cranbourne to do. They'll go with the breeze in this quarter, but as you say, Coach, it seems to have died down a bit.
It does. Well, I don't know this ground very well, but...
The cricket net's end is what I'm going to call the end where the wind is, and maybe the netball end, because the netball is being played just behind us here, and we're at half forward, where Narre Warren are kicking this quarter. So the second quarter underway, and the Eagles go forward. But again, Narre Warren with their defence, try and hold it up. They get a hand pass out. Now they look to build across half-back. Cox has got the footy. He's been good so far. He kicks towards half-forward. Hurried boot by Cody. Now leading in the race is Shinners, but getting in front, his teammate down there and Shane Scanlon. Hand pass comes out now to Dylan Quirk. Dylan Quirk is going to be penalised for holding the ball. He didn't get rid of it properly. The captain for Narre Warren. And it'll be a free kick to Cranbourne at half-back. High kick, taken by Gardner. He kicks towards the half-forward flank, close to the boundary. No one can get a clean possession. A lot of players, as I say, wearing long sleeves for the Magpies today. Defensive give to Colin McNamara. He kicks inside 50, but Anthony Valler's in the road at half-back for the Eagles. He will switch towards centre half-back, and the mark taken by Bertrand, playing at full-back. Bertrand now will go right across the face. And again, they use the footy well through Lewis Fella, Anthony's brother. Now he kicks to the half-back flank. And Cranbourne still in possession, but they still have the ball inside defensive 50. Another pass is an absolute shocker. Straight down the throat of Cox. That was almost like it was meant. Now he Daisy cuts it expertly. And Narre Warren an opportunity to drive it long through the boot of foot. He kicks inside 50. The umpire says play on, no mark taken. Comes out to Valla. That's Anthony Valla now for Cranbourne. He kicks on the half volley. Gardner's got the footy now for the Eagles. He delivers in short. No mark taken. Good contest provided by McNamara of Narre Warren. Ball comes out to Barker. Barker gets it back now to Gardner. Gardner drives the Cranbourne Eagles
Long
long
kick.
inside 50 towards the scoreboard end, but it's all Magpies, and again they do well to combine nicely. Kick to Collins. Collins in a more central location. He delivers down the line again, and Narre Warren have the footy through Foot. Foot getting a lot of the ball, and he gets it back now to Shinners. Shinners kicks towards the wing. Not able to take it was Miller, the youngster, picking it up on the left foot. This is good play by Dempster. Kicks inside 50. Off hands. Rode very cleverly by the Magpies inside 50. And that was Stuart Scanlon. But an excellent mark taken by Bertrand. He has the runner for him. He gets the hand pass off. And they kick towards centre half back now, the Eagles. They keep going, taking them on brilliantly. And that was magnificent play as he originally set it up through Bass. Bass got the hand pass after getting the kick to Anthony Vella. He kicks towards half forward, taken away though by Richardson, holding up firmly for the Narre Warren team. The whistle's blowing profusely at the moment. It's a free kick down the ground and play an advantage for Narre Warren. Kick towards half forward. Dylan Quirk involved in a contest, can't get it. Eventually Cranbourne prevail. They have the ball on the outer side of the ground. A high kick, fisted away late, but the umpire's going to pay the mark to Cranbourne. And they've got it on the outer side of the ground.
You can already see how Narre Warren know this ground. They're playing this much better already early in this quarter than Cranbourne because they're either going down the corridor or down. You notice over the far side.
McNamara receives in the middle of the ground. He's got a player breaking for him. It's Stagg. It runs away from him wearing a long sleeve. Stagg under pressure, close to the boundary line. He's almost shoved in the back, but he does pretty well to hold his ground. He's opposed there to Kirk Dixon in the man bun, and it goes out of bounds inside attacking 50.
I think you're jealous because you're bald. You want a man bun.
I
You have a
do not
crack at
want
guys
one
that
at
have
all.
man buns, but
I don't like them.
You don't like them?
I hate them. I think they're terrible. Fisted to the front by Shinners, rode by the Eagles, handball over the top, getting the hand pass out in front.
Clever
Cranbourne
play.
and doing well as Derbyshire. He lost control of it. He got support though and a teammate who also got a hand pass out in Glenn Osborne, but it's turned over again. Good play by the Magpies. They've got numbers everywhere, and they managed to set themselves up running through the middle. Collins gets the hand pass out and taking it for Narre Warren, and kicking inside 50 on that occasion was Richardson. But again, off hands. They haven't got
Here
the
we go.
numbers at ground level now. They do. Richardson receives again.
Great.
Kicks in short. Beautiful kick. Eyes were lowered, and Nick Scanlon's on the end of it. And Michael Collins involved as well. So good work by Narre Warren. Once they got it inside 50, they didn't panic.
You're not going. You really, when you look at it, Dan, where we are right in front of us, if you're kicking to goal from here in this pocket, you're pretty much directly into the wind. Whereas if you go the other side, you're slightly into the wind. But they're playing it so cleverly because they obviously know this ground inside out.
The use of the footy excellent. He's on a slight angle. Right forward pocket Scanlon. Kicks through the footy and kicks a very simple goal for the Magpies to extend their advantage. A lot of work to be done now for the Cranbourne Eagles with their coach's box just to our right here. And the thick music would be going pretty loud at the moment. 5-6-36 to 2-1-13. The Magpies out by 23 points.
Not good signs. Not good signs for Cranbourne at this stage because they're 17 points down at quarter time. Going into this second quarter, you think with the wind you would have wanted to get the first goal, but wasn't to be, and the Magpies have skipped out, Dan.
Shinners in the ruck against Wen. Shinners of Narre Warren. It's tapped down again. They had some players around it, Cranbourne. Piling in was Cody of Narre Warren, and then Maruzic, the big body, Sean Maruzic of Cranbourne. He holds it up. It's thrown up once again. Wen, a little fingertip on that. The umpire's going to give a free kick for over the shoulder, and I think Michael Wen will take it. He's got the shoulder heavily strapped. He will look to kick it towards the outer side, near the scoreboard, looking for someone to mark, not able to. 2-on-1 at every occasion for Cranbourne. A hurried kick comes out of the pack, and Narre Warren have it through Cody. He's had a lot of the footy so far. The Magpies kick inside 50 again. Camped underneath it, Scanlon.
Here we go.
Roving superbly. 40 metres out on the run. A shot at goal from Foot. Just misses to the right-hand side. Gee, didn't he rove that beautifully front and square. Wasn't able to just bring it around enough. Bit like Gary Ablett last night in that thrilling match between Geelong and Richmond. Had to kick across the body slightly. 5-7-37. Narre Warren and Cranbourne 2-1-13. GameFace coverage of the Sefnal first against third. Back into play go the Eagles, low and flat down the middle. That's a magnificent kick and an easy mark taken by Cavalot. Cavalot, he wobbles a kick to the wing, and Anthony Vella will get out and take the mark. In the orange boots, on the left foot, he'll kick towards half forward.
What a great kick.
It's a brilliant kick, and the mark taken by Holt. Hard on the boundary. He kicks in towards the pocket. No one can take the mark. They've got numbers at the back again, Narre Warren. Hand pass comes out from Shinners. It's turned over. A shot at goal by Cranbourne. That came from De Hugo. Kicks across the face, and again, Narre Warren have got the numbers. Their defence is very, very solid and stout at the moment. They're in the back pocket underneath the scoreboard on the outer side. They look to drive it long through Dempster. Kicks down the line. Nice kick. And the mark taken by Stagg. He'll pop it up to Collins. Plays the ball in front, the veteran. He taps it towards the boundary. He wants some support. He keeps it alive. It's still alive, but they've got the numbers, the Eagles. Hand pass comes out now to Maruzic. Maruzic gets tackled. He gets his hands free, and then they get it going again. This is an opportunity for Dixon. Receives on the outside. Kicks the Eagles towards the outer side of the ground. No one can take the mark. It's close to the boundary again. And good pressure by the Magpies, but it's taken over the boundary on this occasion. He couldn't quite get a proper possession in Ryan Quirk, and it'll be thrown back into play.
It probably sounds silly to say with a 24-point lead, but it's probably not a true indication of where these teams are at. They're very, very tight, very close, Danny.
They're just using the ball a lot better, aren't they?
They are at this stage, yeah.
And again, they use the footy magnificently. McNamara receives. And he received on that occasion from Foot. He's had a lot of the footy. So McNamara kicks inside 50, taking it on the left, shooting at goal, but not having enough on it, the Magpies. And last line of defence stuff by Bertrand, trying to have a shot at goal with Skells over. He just couldn't get enough distance on the kick. Clears defensive 50, and the mark taken by Cavalot. Cavalot on the outer side now. He will go in short towards centre half back. And Cranbourne with the numbers. The mark taken by Bass. Bass will kick towards the wing. Anthony Valla's been impressive in front of our commentary position between half back and wing. Wobbles a kick that isn't quite taken on that occasion by Davey of Cranbourne. Turned over comfortably by Narre Warren, but Derbyshire gets it back for the Eagles. Now they have it at half forward. Davey spins around on a threepence. Now on the right foot, kicks inside 50. Holt underneath it at the Rove. Left foot snap, but kicking off balance. And he couldn't hook it around enough was Marks. He was waiting front and square. First score of the second quarter for the Eagles. They're 2-2-14, and they trail Narre Warren 5-7-37.
Just not enough on that, Dan. Even the wind couldn't bring that one back. But I tell you what, they're starting to press, aren't they? They're starting to press.
Well, they use the footy a lot better then as they brought it in from the commentary side of the ground. But again, the Magpies with numbers as they are going through the middle a lot. That kick almost didn't quite find the target. It's held up by Bassett, halfback for Cranbourne, can't take it. Spills out to Stagg of Narre Warren in the long sleeves and the orange boots on hands and knees. Comes out to him on a couple of occasions, throws it on the boot, but Valla's camped on the wing. He's had an outstanding quarter, but he's told to play on. He's held up, wobbles a kick into the middle of the ground. Derbyshire has to meet it. Feeds a hand pass off to the big ruckman Wynn. The big fellow throws it on the boot, kicks towards half forward, but again, it's all Narre Warren, and the mark taken there by Ryan Quirk.
They're not
Quirk will kick to half forward, and now they've got numbers streaming down the ground. This is Tom Miller, the youngster. Miller looks to play on, lost control of it. Good defensive pressure, close to the boundary line by Cranbourne, and hooking a kick around the body. Doing pretty well was Glenn Osborne towards the wing on the outer side. They're in possession now, the Eagles. The kick goes down the line to half forward, getting a big fist on that with Shinners, and it goes over the boundary. True wing position for both teams, with Narre Warren 5-7-37 leading Cranbourne 2-2-14. So back into play. Tap to the back by Shinners. Socket forward by the Eagles. In the road is Stagg. Does well to wrestle out of a tackle. Gets a hand pass close to the boundary. Collins receives. Kicks long now, the veteran. Getting up Scanlon. Couldn't take the mark. He brought it to ground to Cox. Couldn't quite hang on to it. Trying to get a hand pass out. Doing well were the Eagles. Picked up by Collins again. Close to the boundary. Feeds a hand pass out. Now they're under some pressure. Miller does well to bring it back inboard. Mark was dropped. Probably should have been taken by Cody. And again it spills near the boundary. Dylan Quirk picks up for Narre Warren. He's taken in a tackle. And then there's going to be a ball up, as I thought Bertrand was a little bit overzealous in his endeavours to tackle Quirk on that occasion as he came in late to help his teammates out close to the boundary in the forward pocket. With one goal only this quarter, that going to Narre Warren, the lead by 23 points. Now Cranbourne try and get a hand pass out of the pack. Busting free, but it's only as far as Narre Warren, and they square it up again as the hand pass came out from Glenn Osborne, but in the road. Good play by Tonner. And then he tries to find a target inside attacking 50, and there's a bit of pushing and shoving. And the umpire says, I'm just going to ball this up here. And that's good play. He does a great job to ball it up as no one can take the mark from the kick inside 50. The Eagles again get a hurry boot to ball, but once more, they've got numbers everywhere, and Ryan Quirk goes back with the flight, takes the mark, kicks it out wide, and the Magpies will go back through Sarinsky.
They've got players everywhere.
They have at the moment a high kick inside 50. Almost a mark to Shinners. Couldn't quite bring it down on the second grab. Wen did well to try and bring it out. Hand pass comes out from Dylan Quirk. Now to Michael Collins. Michael Collins hooks around the body, but Bertrand outmarks Nick Scanlon, last line of defence for the Eagles. He'll dab it in short, and it comes off on this occasion for Cranbourne. And the mark is taken there by Thal. Thal will kick down the line in front of our commentary position. Big fist on that occasion by King, and the Eagles unable to keep it alive as King was coming from a fair way back to get involved in that contest. Lovely thump by King to put it over the boundary line. So it's back into play inside attacking 50. Tap down. Hand pass comes out to Cody. Cody gets a hurried boot to ball. Oh, there's a player down for Narre Warren.
On the full. On the
and
full.
the kick's on the full. I think he's hurt his knee. We'll keep an eye on that one. The kick is on the full. And Stagg will kick back into play as Cox went up to try and take the mark and couldn't take the mark. And he's in the hands of the trainers. I think they might have to stop the play here, so we'll see what Stagg can do.
Yeah, they're going to have to take him off. Cox is not looking good.
No, certainly not.
That could be, let's hope it's not an ACL.
You don't know nowadays, do you? I mean, a few years ago, if it was an ACL, they'd be carried off, but it doesn't happen nowadays. Player can limp off and still keep playing even. And you don't know you've done it.
Yeah, the trainers are saying get him off. Get him off.
So Stagg is thinking about having a shot here. Leads have been made. He'll pop it up towards the goal square. Drops about 10 metres out. No one can take the mark. Deep in line with Shinners. He's disappointed with himself as he wrings his hands in frustration. He came from a fair way back, Trent Shinners. Boundary throw, and it'll be tossed back into play. 5 metres around from the goals that Narre Warren are kicking to this quarter. Just one goal, and they've kicked it into a very slight breeze, which has dissipated a bit after the opening term. Do you like that word, Coach? As an opportunity to try and clear for the Cranbourne Eagles, and they weren't able to do it, and that was Glenn Osborne taking in a tackle thrown up.
Cox walking in front of us now. He's limping, but it doesn't look as bad as first thought, but I'm no doctor, but he looks a bit dejected, doesn't he?
He does. We'll keep an eye on that one. High kick comes out from Narre Warren. Floating ball. Chaos ball inside 50. The Eagles have got the numbers. And then coming in late. He's been terrific so far, Stagg. He's taken over the boundary. And it'll be thrown back into play.
Stagg's been sensational.
He has been. Been one of the best on the ground. 35 metres around from the goal that Narre are kicking to. And they lead at the moment 5-7-37 to 2-2-14. Just one behind this quarter for Cranbourne. The tap down by Wen puts it at the bootlaces of his teammates. They've got to try and charge out of defence, and they do. That kicks off the side of the boot from...
Yes, on the full.
Zach Roscoe. One of his nicknames, Tanner. And it's out of bounds on the full. And it'll be a... Thanks for laughing, Coach. And it'll be a free kick for Narre Warren. Roscoe Tanner. Former tennis player.
Oh, gosh. I'm old, Dan. I'm not that old.
Trent Patworth goes back. taken by Surinsky, high kick.
Oh, no. Should have taken
drop.
that.
Should have been taken by Davey of Cranbourne in front of our commentary position. Post to Cody, who's been pretty good so far. It'll be thrown back into play.
Banksy.
Second side of the wing.
Banksy, Cody Banks.
Cody Banks.
That could be his nickname. We're going to come up with nicknames, are we, now?
Yes, we are. We need Peter Coughlin from Pines.
What was the one we had this afternoon? I remember that.
Knock down Acres. Here's an opportunity.
I'll tell you why later.
For the Eagles. They're spinning out of one tackle, spinning out of another. Good play, Dixon. He did well with the fend. Kicks his team down the commentary side wing towards half forward. Waiting at the base and getting a hand pass out was Roscoe. A kick inside 50, but again turned over, and their defence has just been too solid. And Dylan Quirk, the skipper for Narre Warren, holds on with his team up by 23 points. He goes in short again, and the mark is taken by Tonner. He's played in 2 premierships for the Magpies. Kicks high to half forward. Shinners knocks to the front of the pack. Little give came out to Shinners, and that came from the man that was roving in Scalzo. He kicks to half forward. Big fist by the Eagles. Ball's at ground level. Big Wen tries to take them on, but he's taken down in a tackle. That should nearly be holding the ball, because I thought there was prior opportunity, and a little fellow had him and was holding him for dear life, and that's Stuart Scanlon. His brother Nick plays at full forwards. Kicked a couple so far. The only goal in this quarter, trying to work his way to the front, was Papworth. And then a tackle laid by Papworth. And the umpire says, give it to me, boys. As again, Cranbourne couldn't get free through Camelot. I wonder if his nickname is Camelot. It's thrown up in front of our commentary position at half forward for Narre Warren. Wen taps it down, trying to soccer it out of mid-air were the Magpies. And then endeavouring to beat the field was Maruzic, who is a big body for the Cranbourne Eagles. He wasn't able to. Tried to burst through. Wen will go up again. And Papworth wins it down in front of our commentary position. Getting a hurried boot to ball despite being under pressure were the Eagles. They kick towards half forward. And it goes out of bounds. And the player then who did well under immense pressure was Lewis Valla. His brother Anthony has been one of the best players on the ground for the Eagles so far, in my personal opinion. 23-point lead, 5-7-37 to 2-2-14.
That'd be as opposed to your non-personal opinion?
Well, correct. If you it would be in complete contrast to for mine. Dylan Quirk tries to get the footy, can't. Hand pass comes out, a scrambled hand pass comes out for the Magpies. And that was by Tom Miller. And now they've got a chance through Scalzo. Scalzo received the hand pass out the back. He kicks to half forward. Big Shinners does well to foot it in front. Dylan Quirk gets the kick partially smothered. Very close to the boundary. Picked up now by Cranbourne right in front of our commentary position by Lewis Fowler. Drives it back towards the wing. But they've got numbers. This is Stagg again. A high ball. Oh, Scanlon. Nick Scanlon in front of our commentary position. You can hear that ball just fall into his hands. It was magnificent.
Smack.
Kicks inside 50. No one can take the mark. Waiting down at the drop was Foot. He couldn't get his foot or boot the ball. Picked up brilliantly by Cody. And Cody with wonderful vision. And he made sure that he had the best vision in the world to see a man who'd gone out the back to take the mark for Narre Warren. And they'll have a shot at goal.
I think Nick Scanlon's been one of their best so far too, Dan. He's just looked, whenever the ball's come near him, he just looks like he's going to take the grab every time.
Well, he's doing a good job. So a shot at goal by Jackson, and it's their second goal against the breeze, this slight breeze. 6-7-43, and Cranbourne, who at one stage hit the front, since then it's been 5 unanswered goals for the Magpies. And they're in a bit of trouble now, the Eagles. 2-2-14, the margin out to 29 points in this battle between first and third, as one of the line coaches at the Eagles gives some instructions to Camelot, who's on the boundary waiting to come back on in front of our commentary position for the Cranbourne Eagles.
Now, we'll go back quickly to that nickname if you were listening, and we said a guy had a nickname called Acres. It was because he had a large bottom. That's where that name came from, and wasn't described as having a bottom. It was something else. But anyway.
Scalzo out of the middle. He grubbers a kick inside 50. Good play by Scanlon for Narre Warren to knock it forward. Cody gets a hand pass out. He's accosted. He got it back. He swings a high ball, which is off the side of the boot a little bit. Running back with the flight is Stewart. He couldn't quite get his hand on that. And it's off hands and goes out of bounds in the right forward pocket near the behind post. The end that Narre Warren are kicking to at the town end of the ground. 6-7-43 to 2-2-14 opposed to the cricket nets. end of the ground where Cranbourne are kicking in and struggling to score and even struggling to get the ball inside 50.
Well, they're just kicking and hoping, Cranbourne, at the moment.
Well, they are. They don't have a method, do they?
They've got no process or formation at the moment. They're just whacking it on the boot and hoping it gets down into the forward line.
Down by 29 points. High kick by the Eagles. Down to the outer side. Big pack forming again. They've got numbers at ground level. Quirk. A hand pass out. Misses the target. But again, they've got backup. They've been absolutely superb. Quirk again has been one of the best men on the ground, Dylan Quirk. Turned over on this occasion, though, by Gardner, Nathan Gardner, the captain of Cranbourne. He scrambles it on the boot and kicks to the outer wing. It'll be a boundary throw-in. So 2-2-14 Cranbourne. Narre Warren 6-7-43. We'll check some scores at half time. You can get those scores on the GameFace app, whether it be in the Cefnal or the Mornington Peninsula and the Nepean Football League, of which there's some big matches on today in first and second division. As we get very close to the finals, the third last round of fixtures in the Cefnal. The top four will play each other in the last round in a fortnight. Back into play. Very close to the boundary, not able to keep it alive on this occasion is Dixon of the Eagles, and it'll be tossed back into play.
The Magpies just look like they know, as I said, how to play this ground. They know how to play with each other, and I reckon they're going to take this game away in the second half unless Cranbourne start looking for each other as opposed to just kicking it and hoping it.
Shinner's the tap. Maruziak does well to receive the tap, though. He read it best. And the mark is taken at half forward by the Cranbourne Eagles, and a kick inside 50 by Thomas Marks. But it's turned over again by the watertight Narre Warren defence. And it comes out to Michael Collins just underneath the scoreboard at halfback. He kicks down the line on that outer side of the ground. High ball. Shinners makes a good contest. Brings it to ground level. Stagg, who's been excellent, got a hand pass out to Scalzo. Had it run down. Then it's taken by Cranbourne and getting a little hand pass out. We haven't seen much of him, Brandon Osborne. He almost had that run down. They scrubber a kick towards half forward. Stagg emerges with it though for Narre Warren at half back. Switches towards McNamara. McNamara now lowers the eyes, kicks to Scalzo in the middle of the ground. Now he kicks inside 50 and cutting across and taking the mark. Good play by Narre Warren. And to have a shot at goal will be Tom Miller. He's seen as a future leader of this club. They've got a number of under-19 players that they've managed to bring into the team this year in their endeavours to win the premiership. The last one in the Cefnal comp before most of these sides head to the Yarra Rangers League next year, of which Narre Warren will be one of those. Cranbourne still aiming to go to the Mornington Peninsula Football League as Miller kicks high, long and handsome. 3 goals to none this quarter for Narre Warren, putting a little bit of a down payment on another 4 points for the Magpies in their quest to finish on top at the end of the home and away season. 7-7-49. And Cranbourne, a lot of work to be done now. 2-2-14 margin out to 35 points, Coach.
The way Miller kicked that, you could just see that he knew all he had to do was get the distance. He didn't have to kick it, out of the ground. He was 45 metres out. He just kicked through the ball. Beautiful drop punt. And it really, I reckon it's probably just landed over the head of the goal umpire. But, hey, that's all he had to do. He knew that if he kicked it too hard, he might get off the side of his boot.
Out of the middle go Cranbourne. The problem is they're going the other side every time, and it's been read on each occasion by Narre Warren, and the mark taken down there by Ryan Quirk. It's been pretty good. He elects to kick it down the line on that outer side. Turned over though. Big win, receives a hand pass in the middle for the Eagles. Lowers the eyes and then kicks poorly inside 50. Richardson does well. He's in the road, gets a hand pass out to Stagg. Then a hand pass to Sarinsky. Sarinsky kicks very close to the boundary line and it goes out of bounds on the wing in between the two dugouts and in between the social club rooms here at Narre Warren, and the locals will be happy. 7-7-49, the Narre Warren Magpies, and the Eagles a 2-2-14 margin, 35 points.
Late in the second quarter.
It is late in the second quarter. Shinner's beaten in the ruck. Stagg gets the hand pass out now to Cody. Cody goes backwards, runs into trouble. Then he feeds a hand pass out. Now the kick into the middle of the ground, and Collins is away again, just racking up getting the footy. Kicks inside 50. Not a great kick. Didn't have the carry. Scanlon thought it might have carried Bertram, but Bertram read it best and was like the gatekeeper between fullback and centre halfback. He takes the mark and then slides it wide out to Maruzic. Maruzic now will go back to fullback again, and Cranbourne have possession. Kicking down the line And Cavalot will take the mark as he receives it from Lewis Valla. And he has it in front of our commentary position. Kicks to Big Wing. Uses the big backside. Arches the back. Takes the mark. And he'll kick in short again, but the disposal's been poor. That kick inside 50's been very ordinary. Richardson's in the road, trying to get the hand pass to Scalzo. Couldn't take it cleanly. Brings his opponent down, who was fighting hard for the footy in Behugo. It's been a bit quiet for Cranbourne so far, but there have been quite a few players struggling a bit for the Eagles, who remain on 2-2-14 to 7-7-49. The margin 35 points. Thrown up again, Wynn knocks it down. Maruzic, well taken by Collins in a tackle straight away. Two big balls going for the footy. And Maruzic is a big fellow, but Collins had him well and truly taken to the ground before he got a chance to get rid of that no prior. Thrown up again. Numerous players around the contest. Shinner's tapped it down, and again Cody lays a tackle on Maruzic, who's doing all the hard in and under work as he crumbed it from the ruck contest. In front of our commentary position, 35-point lead to Narre Warren. Open-handed tap, quick kick by Cranbourne. It came from De Hugo. But the kick was run down. Then trying to get away is Anthony Valla. He's brought to ground. And a free kick to go the way of the Magpies. They'll take it just behind the wing. And the hand pass is a good one. And it's kicked towards the middle of the ground, and that's half-time as Cody received the hand pass from his teammate who got the free kick on that occasion in Tonner, Josh Tonner, and they kicked across the face, but the siren sounded before they could get another meaningful move forward. But it's been Narre Warren's quarter, 3-0 They've kicked the last 6 goals of the game after Mark Holt put Cranbourne in front at the 20-minute mark of the opening quarter. Since then, Narre Warren have completely dominated, 7-7-49. Their midfielders on top, led by Dylan Quirk and Michael Collins, and then Scanlon on the end of it, kicking 3 goals. Nick Scanlon, 2-2-14 Cranbourne. The lead 35 points as Narre Warren's only lost this year to Cranbourne here about 5 weeks ago. They're looking to try and avenge that defeat and prime themselves for the finals in 3 weeks' time. They'll lead by 35 points, Coach, at half-time and have completely dominated.
I think they will avenge the defeat the way they're playing at the moment, Dan. Strangely enough, that wind is now sort of blowing across the ground. So it's going to be who uses the wind to their advantage in this second half. But when you look at the way Narre Warren are playing, they're playing much more structured footy, aren't they? They're looking for each other. They know where each other virtually is on different occasions. And even then, just towards the end of that half, with Cranbourne, the ball comes out of the back of the pack, and he just whacks it on his boot and hopes that it's going to go down there and someone's going to catch it. You can't play footy at any level, let alone this high standard of footy in first grade, in seniors. You just cannot do that. You've got to look for your man, and there's no such thing as over-handballing anymore, Dan. There's no such thing. That's the way the game's played now. And I'm just noticing if you just kick long like in the old days, they're going to pick you off every single time.
Well, they are if you're going down the same line, and they're constantly going down the outer side of the ground, Cranbourne, which is allowing Narre Warren to get back and fill a hole on each occasion. So Richardson is sort of holding firm at centre-half back and allowing the other defenders like Quirk, Ryan Quirk, etc., to do their job. Sarinsky to run off when he has to. Miller, who's played a little bit across half-back as well, and Josh Tonner. So they've just managed to do what they have to do. I mean, they're certainly keeping their opponents quiet, but when the ball comes inside, there's an opportunity to pick it off on each occasion, and then you give it to Collins and Dylan Quirk, and they just set it up and drive it inside 50.
Well, they seem to have run out of the back line, whereas Cranbourne don't.
No.
They've got no run out of the back line at all. So basically they're the old style. They're trying to defend, but they're not beating their opponent. And basically they're just not moving forward.
I mean, Stagg's sort of playing a little bit of a run with roll, but he's getting a lot of the footy. And I mean, the ruck contest is pretty even. I think Michael Wynn's battling pretty hard. What Narre Warren have got, the advantage there, Coach, the luxury there is that they've got the 2 ruckmen that they can change in Papworth and also Shinners. But Wynn is sort of battling on his own a little bit, and Shinners and Papworth are a bit more mobile in that they can also play forward. And that's making it hard for Wynn. I think he's doing absolutely everything he can, but he just doesn't have enough support, and that's where they're also getting beaten as well. Not so much the taps, but it's just around the footy. And Maruzic is trying to win that footy in close, but Michael Collins is just a little bit too good for him, along with Dylan Quirk. So what I'm trying to say here is that Narre Warren are outnumbering Cranbourne at the contest.
Well, they just need to lift their intensity. If they don't lift their intensity, if that's not the word at half-time from the coach, they need to lift their intensity. And plus the fact that they haven't got a Scanlon. This Nick Scanlon, he is looking sensational at the moment. He's playing such good footy.
Well, he's not tall, but he's got a good set of hands and he's a bit more mobile. Mark Holt's an excellent player, we know that. But what Narre White have been very good at when the balls come inside and they're looking for Holt, Holt's got 2 or 3 on him.
Yeah.
And what Cranbourne have not been able to do is isolate another player to add to the scoreboard. I mean, it seems to be Mark Holt or bust, and at the moment it's bust for Cranbourne, who are 2-2-14. Narre Warren 7-7-49. We'll take a break on GameFace. Live coverage of the Sefnal as we get ready for the finals 3 weeks away. These 2 teams will be there. I expect Narre Warren to finish on top, and then the qualifying final to be between Berwick and Cranbourne want to play a little bit better than they are at the moment. They're trailed by 35 points, but we'll check some scores shortly on GameFace's coverage of the Sefnal.
Pencon Garden Supplies and Mini Mix Concrete is a family-owned business that has served the Mornington Peninsula magnificently for more than 50 years. For all your garden and building supplies, concrete, soil, sand and mulch, visit Bart and the team at 58 Peninsula Avenue Rye or call 5985 2252 or 5985 2998. St Andrew's Brewery, using the finest ingredients, ensuring each beer is full of flavour and character.
Websites, videos, Google marketing, SEO, what do you need for your business? Call the team at Chill, they really know their stuff.
Low Farms, the Australian grower and supplier of rocket, lettuce, spinach and salad mixes.
Welcome back to Narre Warren, half time in the Cefnal match between the first place Narre Warren Magpies, third place Cranbourne Eagles, 7-7-49 to 2-2-14. The Magpies up by 35 points. Brent Irwin's kicked 2 goals for the Magpies and Nick Scanlon has booted 3. Just checking some of the other scores in the Mornington Peninsula Football Netball League, and half-time between Edithvale Aspendale and Frankston Bombers. I think if the Bombers lose today, their finals chance is just about shot. It would be 3 losses in a row. Edithvale Aspendale never win by big margins. They lead by 11 points at half-time. Mount Eliza thrashing Rosebud. They're in the third quarter of that match. They lead by 65 points. Pines, we've just been there for a function, and they'll be pumped up there, coach. At North Frankston, 33-point lead over YCW, 49-16 at half-time. Half-time between Sorrento and Seaford, and Sorrento have an 8-point buffer. Bond Beach playing Mornington in the third quarter there, and the Sharks are storming home, but they've left their run a bit too late. They lead Mornington by 27 points.
Dan, I don't want to be a purveyor of doom and gloom. You know I'm a very positive person, but I can tell you now Cranbourne are going to have to do something very special to get out of this.
They sure do, as we've started the third quarter. And we'll give you updates in the second division shortly. A hand pass comes out from the Eagles straight away, but putting the body on the line is McNamara. And I wonder whether he was tackled or not in possession. He had his head down, backside up. And you can actually see that right on the edge of centre half back in his endeavours to get the footy. He kicks to the outer side of the ground. No one can take the mark. Ball's at ground level. And eventually picked up by the Eagles. They kick towards half forward. And there's a mark taken inside the boundary. This is Derbyshire. He's at right half forward. Spelled a bit differently to the English County, DAR. The English County, DER. Kicks inside 50. No mark taken by King. At ground level, they've got the numbers. Receiving a hand pass, Dylan Quirk. He was brilliant in the first half, the skipper for the Magpies. Kicks to half forward, Shinners. Through his hands. Drop what he probably should have taken. Brandon Osborne at the back for the Eagles. He defends grimly towards the wing. And a mark taken by Dixon. Hard on the boundary. Kirk Dixon. He'll kick towards half forward. Getting up. Not able to take the mark. Was Holt. And again, they've got the numbers that they can clear. He does lay a tackle. And getting support there is Davey. And then eventually the hand pass comes out from the Eagles. Look a little bit more.
This is looking good. This is looking good.
Now to Anthony Vella. Front edge centre square. Kicks to Holt. The big fella takes the mark. Excellent hands. There was nothing his opponent could do. He just had maybe half a yard on him, and the ball was kicked to the right side for him, and he was able to use that big body and take the mark.
See the umpire's trying to move him around. He's got a big smile on his face and a big hole. He's sort of decided.
The train, they call him. He's right in front of us here.
Right in front of us.
He is. Right on the 50. His kick is coming around, but not enough, and he miskicked it a bit to the top of the square. And an easy mark taken, last line of defence by Jesse Davies, one of the good young players for Narre Warren. As you mentioned, a lot of good youngsters in this team. Foot gets the hand pass off to the man who's got the job, Zeitzman, in playing on Holt. And he's giving away a lot of height and also a lot of strength as he kicks across the face and finds Dylan Quirk again inside defensive 50 as he kicks down the line towards the wing for Narre Warren. The lead at the moment, 35 points, early stages of the second half. We'll check those second division scores in the MPNFL shortly. Good play by Winners. He received a hand pass from Maruzic, but then had it run down, and now it's whipped away by Cody. Cody kicks long towards full forward. It's bouncing away, and eventually it goes out of bounds in the forward pocket at the cricket net's end of the ground. Again, good pressure in close by Narre Warren, coach, to reduce the turnover.
Yeah, well, Cranbourne definitely do not want to be kicking from this side of the ground across face of goal into the wind, because you're going to get about 30 metres out of a kick, as was proven by Big Holdy then.
Valla's there, and Anthony Valla kicked long to a contested half back, and Wen was out of position, opposed to Shinners, and Shinners was able to fist over, I should say Papworth was able to fist over the boundary. So at half forward, still into attack Narre Warren. They've kicked the last 6 goals. Cranbourne goalless since the 20-minute mark of the opening term at 7-7-49 to 2-2-14. Back into play. There was a shallow boundary throw in, and Wen read it best and just fists it back over the boundary again, virtually with his knuckle in front of the Narre Warren dugout. They'd be quite content with the situation at the moment, as they lead by 35 points and defence doing well. The coach is saying separation.
For
Back into
Cranbourne.
play now. Wen was pulled out of that contest then. Taken by Skelzo as he crumbed it high to half forward. But good defence on that occasion by Gardner. Gardner will kick across the face. Hand pass over the top now as they work their way through the middle. They kicks a good one, and that should be a mark, and it's taken by Thal. Thal for Cranbourne. He marks on the edge of the centre square, attacking side of the wing. He goes wide again. And it good play by the Eagles as they kick in towards the pocket, and the lead and the mark taken by Zach Roscoe. Roscoe's right half forward, hard on the boundary, about 45 from goal. He'll kick along towards Big Holt. Winner's there as well. Holt was out of position, fisted down by Narre Warren, trying to have the ball come to him when he really should have made an attempt was Dempster, but luckily he got tagged by Derbyshire and he takes the free kick. Dempster very good in the first half. Kicks towards half forward. 2-on-1 against Narre Warren at the moment. Swinging around as big Shinners. He had to swing around in an arc and had the ball turned over. Brandon Osborne has it. Handballs over the top to Derbyshire. Derbyshire built like a pencil. Kicks inside 50 to Mark Holt. Gets it on the half volley. Can't take it cleanly. Then he lays a magnificent tackle on his opponent in Walpshot, who lost control of it. Picked up on this occasion by King. King gets it in short now towards Tonner. Tonner kicks beautifully to Dempster. Dempster feeds the hand pass off to the running machine Zeetzman. Zeetzman has a bounce, and Zeta on the left kicks towards the wing, but it's a terrible kick. It drops short, and the Eagles have the mark again. Kick over the top to Wen. Wen takes the mark in the middle of the ground. Still no score in this quarter. Narre Warren by 35 points. And he'll lower the eyes and kick to the outer side of the ground. Again, they're going the long way home. But there's a player out there on his own Gardner, and he should take the mark. He does. He plays on quickly. Magnificent kick as he saw in board. If there was a player on his own, he manages to find that player. And that's Kirk Dixon, who takes the mark after the eyes were lowered by the skipper, Nathan Gardner, slightly right of centre half forward.
You can just tell the intensity has lifted, hasn't it, by Cranbourne. The Eagles know that this is the first part of this half they have to own. If they don't own this part of the half, they could get blown away.
Well, they haven't kicked a goal since the 20-minute mark of the opening quarter. And Dixon kicks through the footy. Has it got the carry? I think it does. It's just cleared the hands. McNamara on the line for Narre Warren. Just went past him. And the first goal for a quarter and a half for the Cranbourne Eagles. They're 3-2-20. On the GameFace scoreboard, Narre Warren 7-7-49. The margin back to 29 points after it was 35 at halftime. A good goal by Kirk Dixon.
That was better because they looked for each other. They looked a nice kick out of the centre, then to the wing, then to the pocket, bang, goal.
And for once, the Narre Warren defence was disorganised. They managed to have a spare player inside 50, Cranbourne. Tapped down by Wen, the big fellow out of the middle. Got a 1 metre kick. And they get a hurried boot to ball again through Osborne. He kicks to half forward, and that's an excellent mark to Dixon. He plays on quickly. Short pass is superb.
Here we go.
And on the end of it, maybe a chance for 2 in a row for Cranbourne. Taking the mark is Thal. So they need 2 in a row just to put a bit of pressure on Narre Warren. Make them think. They're lowering the eyes. They're sharing the footy better. They're willing to take risks, coach, by going through the corridor.
They're playing like a team that actually starts to believe that are believing that they can win the game. Obviously, the coach has had to give them a huge rev up.
He kicks from 40 metres. It looked a bit awkward off the boot, like he was heading to the right, Thal, with the way he was aiming for goal then, but it straightened up beautifully. 2 in a row to the Eagles, and they're 4-2-26. They trailed Narre Warren. Haven't scored in this third quarter yet. 8 minutes played, 7-7-49.
Once again, though, that he did not try to kick the absolute bejesus out of the ball. He just kicks through the ball, let the wind do the little drift from as he looks at the goals right to left, and it just got over the goal umpire's head. And of course, it's a major.
Now in the AFL, 11-point lead to Hawthorn early in the third quarter, 9-3-57. Essendon 7-4-46. Tom Mitchell, another big day coming up. 29 possessions for the Hawks. As out of the middle goes Cranbourne. They're very aggressive on the footy. Coming the other way was Narre Warren and taken an attack on thrown to ground as Josh Tonner. He's certainly stirred and shaken, but he gets up. Tapped down by Wen. Trying to win the footy, Maruzic. Hurried boot to ball by Cody for Narre Warren to half forward. Not tracked cleanly on that occasion by Narre Warren, coming the other way. Cleared out of defence by Bertrand. Can he keep it alive? Has to handball in front to his own advantage. Has his teammate helping him out. He feeds over the top. Vala's there. Maruzic on the outside. Good play by Narre Warren. Taken by Cox. Kicks to, I should say Cranbourne. Kicks to half forward, but it's turned over again by Narre Warren, and that's Ryan Quirk, who's been very solid, mopping up at half back. Gets it out to one of the best men on the ground in the first half, Stagg. He kicks to the wing, and now they've got some separation. They can set it up, Narre Warren, and this is Michael Collins. He kicks down the line towards the wing. One-on-one contest at the back. It's pumped forward by Miller. Then he lays a tackle in front of the scoreboard on the outer side, and it goes out of bounds as Narre Warren make a move forward. And they haven't had too many of those so far, as they've been conceded by 2 goals in this quarter. The margin back to 23 points.
It's almost, Dan, like they flicked a light switch on Narre Warren. It's like, well, time to go, and that's what they've done, even though the ball's in their defensive pocket. But you can just see that the way they're tackling, a lot more intensity.
Boundary throw-in. Cranbourne get the hand pass out. Maruzic receives on the outside. He kicks to the wing. That was a kick to no man's land. There's more black and white jumpers around that contest, and they knock it over the line. Now, in the MPNFL second division, coach, Dramana, after their good come-from-behind win against Red Hill last week, it's 12th against first. Dramana on top. Crib Point on the bottom. 105-7 at half-time in favour of Dramana.
You love Dramana, don't you?
Yeah, they're a good club. Tired going all right too against Devon Meadows, looking for their 5th win of the season. 35-23, the lead by 2 goals. Coringal getting beaten by Chelsea by 4 goals in a battle for a top 4 spot. Langwarren, a good lead over Somerville into the third quarter there. We were there on Thursday night for the footy show, and it was terrific. And if Langwarren win today, they're still in contention for the finals. Their lead 38 points. Pearsdale leads right at half-time by 2 points, and Red Hill are in front of Hastings by 10 points. And if Hastings lose to Red Hill today, it means that Langwarren, should they win, and they're well in front at the moment, will be in the top 5 tonight with 1 round remaining in the second division of the MPNFL. Here in the Cefnal, it's been 2-0 for Cranbourne, the visitors, in this quarter against Narre Warren, to trail by 23 points. It's knocked down again. Number of players around the contest. Skelzo goes in hard forward, Narre Warren. He knocks his opponent over the boundary line.
Almost over the fence.
Well, he did. I mean, Wen is a big, big man, but Skelzo almost put him over the other side. And it'll be thrown back into play. True wing position. Here's an opportunity now, with a big torpedo punt inside 50, fisted away by Osborne, and then socket away by Cranbourne towards the boundary. Their intent is very good this quarter. 2-on-1 on that occasion. I thought Bertrand did very, very well, being the sole Cranbourne competitor in that contest against his 2 Magpies opponents. And as a boundary throw-in, number change 2. We thank the Cranbourne officials for that. Brandon Walpshot is number 44, not number 11. Trick for young players, coach. Boundary throw-in, tap back into play. Wen knocks it down. And here's a chance now for a hand pass to come out. Cranbourne doing pretty well here through Luke to Hugo. They try and set it up through the middle of the ground. The running Derbyshire wants to get a hand pass on the outside. Working their way through, though, the Eagles, a hurried kick towards Maruzic. He got an unfair bounce. King's right with him and knocks it over the boundary in front of the Narre Warren dugout. And the Magpies all of a sudden need a goal as Cranbourne make a comeback here, cut the margin to 23 points.
The Magpies actually look flat, don't they? Isn't it funny how quick a game can change? 20-minute half-time break or 30 minutes, and they look flat.
Underneath it, Wen. Hand pass comes out. Culvercott, he couldn't get a clean possession though. And that's going to be a free kick, I reckon, against Miller.
In the back.
In the back. It'll go the way of the Eagles at half-back. And always looking to play on and kick across the face is Lewis Valla. And on that occasion, it was a risky option. Okay, they're trying to open up the play, but you really need to find an open man. You don't kick to a contest when you're going across the face. And the big figure of Trent Shinner's got in front. And he took the mark and took the mark comfortably. And he'll kick from directly in front. A fair way out into a slight breeze to the cricket net's end. And all of a sudden, his team, the Narre Warren Magpies, need a goal.
Well, the thing was he kicked it and he thought it was going to go 40 metres, and it went probably 40 metres, 60 metres, 100 metres in the air because the wind caught it and just dropped it straight down there at the centre half forward. But he's got to kick this to the left post.
He does.
And he's missed it.
He has to the right-hand side. He leant back. He kicked through the footy, but he's just had a bit too much on it.
He knows this ground.
7-8-50 to 4-2-26, and even 4-goal spread. The lead for the Narre Warren Magpies, the league leaders. Goalless, though, in this quarter. They did well, though, to kick 4 goals in the opening term with the end that was the breeze. So they've been well held by Cranbourne this quarter. As Scalzo took a mark, a very strong mark, but it's given away a free kick. Silly play by Collins, the veteran. Free kick to the Eagles in short. And now Osborne has it. Glenn Osborne kicks towards the contest. Holt's got 2 to beat. Good play to bring it to ground by Zeitsman. And it comes to the back of the pack, and tying up nicely was Ryan Quirk. And now they've got numbers. Zeitsman has it in the middle of the ground, but he turns it over badly as well. And getting back and taking the mark for Cranbourne was Cavalot. Cavalot now kicks towards half forward. Underneath it, no mark taken by Wen. He then lays a tackle to ensure the ball stays inside. Cranbourne's attacking 50 as they mount a challenge again, the Eagles. But the umpire says, it's a bit scrambly, boys, I'll ball it up. 40 metres out from the Eagles' goal. The margin 4 goals in favour of Narre Warren, 7-8-50 to 4-2-26. Tapped down by Wen again. And there's going to be a free kick. It'll go the way of the Magpies. Taken by Cox. He's recovered from that blow to the knee in the second quarter. He'll spread it wide. And again in short.
You just notice with Holt, Dan, you know, Quirk is getting back and just dropping into that hole, and he just can't free the 2 taggers.
Dempster kicks to a contest on the wing, spills to the back to Miller, brought down on a tackle. And the umpire says a shove in the back. It's going the way of Narre Warren. And Miller will take that free kick. Tom Miller. Hard on the boundary. Kicks well inside. 50. That is an outstanding mark. He kicked to a contest. He kicked to the right side again, the goal side in the contest. And he used the breeze nicely. And a very good mark taken by Narre Warren's Stuart Scanlon.
He looks like his brother, doesn't he?
Well, he does. Well, he is. He's his brother, Coach. You think he would, wouldn't he? Directly in front. That is a silly comment from you.
I think
40 metres out directly in front. This is an important goal. It was heading left. It's come back sufficiently enough for a goal on the board for the Magpies, and they get a steadier. If a steadier is needed when you're still 4 goals up, it's now 5 goals the margin. 8-8-56, brother, and they lead Cranbourne 4-2-26. And 8-8-56, brother, refers to one of the great commentators of all time, the late, great Harry Beitzel, who used to say 8-8-56, and he'd call everyone brother. And Rex Hunt started saying it, 8-8-56, brother. So we use it all the time. And when I broadcast with Smokey Dawson, which I will be tomorrow in NIRS, the AFL match between Carlton and the Giants with the great Peter Crackers Keenan, so the band's back together. If we get 8-8-56, we'll say brother. Chance now for Narre Warren to get it out of the middle, and they can't on this occasion. Held up as Cox in the blue boots, and it'll be thrown up. Just slightly attacking side of the centre circles for Cranbourne. Getting up a little bit too early, Shinners, but he got the ball on the way down. Cox, his teammate, then lays a tackle to ensure the ball goes nowhere. And the umpire will throw it up once more with the margin 30 points. 8-8-56 to 4-2-26.
You can see that's deflated Cranbourne a little bit, that goal.
Big fist by Shinners. But they have the numbers as they work their way through.
He's gone.
But trying to take on too many was Bass. He took on 1, took on 2, and then got dragged down in the third tackle, the Eagle. And a free kick to the Magpies. And this will be taken by Cody. He's been very, very good. He was stepping one way, then he goose steps towards the left, kicks the half forward, almost the chest.
He's gone
to yes, Patworth, and he fended off an opponent as he couldn't take the mark, and then got dragged down in a tackle from behind. So a free kick to Osborne. Brandon Osborne with the long hair at half-back. He's looking for options. He goes in short, and he manages to find a player who takes the mark on his chest. This is Thal, who kicked the last goal, but he's camped in the back pocket now. He'll square it up towards half-back. And the target is Roscoe. Zach Roscoe still in the back pocket. He went backwards slightly, but to a more central location. Now he banks to a contest on the wing. Wen was there, but, oh, gee, From behind, window shopping and marking is Jake Richardson. Richardson kicks to a contest. No one can take the mark, but off hands, Narre Warren have the numbers through Tonner. He kicks to full forward, and then there's a flying shot which goes out of bounds right beside the behind post at the cricket net's ends here at Narre Warren, where the Magpies are attacking. They've kicked 1 goal this quarter to Cranbourne's 2, and it's 8-8-56 to 4-2-26. Margin 30 points. So deep into attack. Dangerous time here for Cranbourne. Another goal here, and you have to say the match is over if it's not already over. But good defensive work by the Eagles as they fist it to the boundary and just clear the danger zone for the time being by knocking it around some 10 or 15 metres.
Just going back to your point about looking alike and brothers and that, your daughter looks absolutely nothing like you.
Well, it's probably a good thing. My son looks like me, though.
He does. I wasn't going to say
He does, fitting image, but...
I was going to say, sorry, Alex.
He's got my looks when I was a boy, and then all of a sudden things went awry. I hope it doesn't continue. I've got a very good head for radio, as you know, Coach. Handball on the outside, Maruzic, taken by Anthony Vella, the good runner. Kicks towards the wing. No mark taken by Dixon. He had 2 or 3 to beat, and in the end it's mopped up at the back by Narre Warren. Taken by young Jesse Davies. He's another pencil-thin player. He kicks very close to the boundary, and marking in front of the Narre Warren dugout for Cranbourne is Zach Roscoe. He's had a pretty good quarter. Roscoe's at half-back. He'll kick down the line towards the wing. In front of our commentary position. Wenner's up. Fists away on this occasion. Does well to bring it to ground level. Hand pass came out from Anthony Vella. May have been tackled for a long time, and Wenner's tackled forever. Not sure that he had prior opportunity, and free kick given against him to be taken by Colin McNamara. 5-time premiership player. Slightly follically challenged, Coach, as he kicks long down the line towards half forward, fisted away by the Eagles. They've got numbers at ground level. Had a pretty good quarter, Roscoe. Got the hand pass out. Now it's taken by Walshot, who gets it very close to the boundary and then is taken in a tackle over the boundary at half back. It'll be thrown back into play.
I was going to say their wind's died down slightly, but then I've looked at the gummies over the other side, and all of a sudden it's picked up again. So, look, I think 30 points might be just one bridge too far for Cranbourne if they don't kick a goal soon.
It's tapped down, and Maruzic tried to get hold of it, pinched away by Narre Warren again. Good kick by Collins inside 50.
Ooh.
Gee, a collision there. Bodies clash. Comes out to Maruzic once more. But he gets his kick run down. Terrific forward pressure by Narre Warren. Scanlon, his kick's an excellent one. And taking the mark at centre half forward to have a shot at goal for the Magpies. And they've got options everywhere.
I think, is that Vella that's down?
It could be. He's in a bit of trouble.
I think it might be Vella. He got hit.
But running into space was Josh Tonner at centre half forward for Narre Warren. And he did get crashed, didn't he? It was a sickening collision between 2 players, and all they were doing was going for the footy, which their coaches would certainly admire. But at the end of the day, it is a collision sport. That's what happens, Coach.
Well, the top half of his body went one way and the bottom half the other, so that didn't look good. I think
both Vella boys, there's nothing of them. They're good runners.
Some sort of hip injury. Yeah, I think it might be Lewis. I can't really see from here. I hope he's going to be all right, but it's...
Well, Anthony's got the bright coloured boots and the moustache. Not that you can see the moustache from here, Coach. We'll have a look. There's going to be a stop in play here, so there'll be a delay. Narre Warren 8-8-56 to Cranbourne 4-2-26. That'll give you a chance as we hope that he's okay. We hope all sports people, when they get injured, no matter what level of sport it is, that they can recover and recover quickly.
He's coming off.
Checking second division again in the MPNFL. Langwarren leading Somerville by 32 points in the third quarter. Rye leading Pearsdale by a goal in the third quarter. Red Hill up by 17 points over Hastings in the third quarter. Chelsea by 41 over disappointing Coringal Bulls in the third quarter. Devon Meadows has hit the front against Tyre by 3 points. And there is a 103-point lead for Tremarna over Crib Point in the battle between first and 12th.
Well, the good news is he's up and he's walking. It's very gingerly with the assistance of a couple of the trainers. But luckily no head injury, so...
So there's a shot at goal. Has it got the carry? It has by Tonner. And that might nearly be the ball game deep in the third quarter. 9-8-62 Narre Warren. Cranbourne 4-2-26. He does look sick, doesn't he, Coach? Coach is going to check for us. And we'll see how he is. Yeah. Lewis Valla is coming off, and we hope he's okay. All he was doing was putting his body on the line on a pretty tight collision. The margin out to 36 points, 6-goal buffer, 9-8-62 to 4-2-26. So Narre Warren have wiped out the 2 goals that Cranbourne scored early in the term. It's tapped down by Wen, but straight to his opposing ruckman Shinners, who bangs it long inside 50 for the Magpies. And there is going to be a ball up. There's a big pack forms at centre half forward again.
Yeah, Lewis Villa right in front of us now. He's very, very gingerly walking up towards the dugout, but he is conscious. He's all right.
That's good. Hand pass now to Miller from the ruck contest. Now to Stagg. Stagg on the left, bangs long. That's a magnificent goal. Magnificent goal by Stagg. He got it on the outside and he drilled it from inside 50, 45 metres out. And that puts a stake in the heart of the Cranbourne Eagles. 10-8-68. That is champagne football by the Magpies from the stoppage, where they've scored a lot of goals today and created a lot of scoring opportunities. Cranbourne 4-2-26.
That came, the whole turnaround in this match has come, like, early on Cranbourne were on top. They were playing hard, tough football. That one kick, remember, from the pocket across, tried to centre it, tried to go, changed direction. Guess what happened? The ball goes way up in the air, held up by the wind. Bingo, goal, and it's all turned around.
Stagg out of the middle again, the goal kicker. Kicks towards half forward. Gee, they really want it. Narre Warren, 2 players run into each other. Hand pass comes out. Maruzic receives again. And then that's a nice little pass by Bertrand. And finds Derbyshire. Derbyshire kicks down the line towards half forward.
That's
that
in his
should
back.
be a shove in the back. And that'll go the way of the Eagles. And the man getting it is Thal, who's been pretty solid. Did kick a goal early in the quarter. Between the 2 dugouts, just behind the wing, commentary side, has to go backwards. Nothing on offer further up the ground. Finds Dixon, a goal scorer early in the quarter. And he's hemmed in at half back now. He's in short again, making a lead for him, Bertrand, who's battled manfully in defence today. It's been a lot of forward entries by their opponents. Goes across the face to Brandon Osborne. And then he delivers to the other side of the ground to Glenn Osborne. He has a bounce. He kicks down the line to the wing.
Is there a Donny?
Well, Osborne, we need Osmond, don't we? But
Close enough.
We need a Richard Osmond, don't we? There's going to be a free kick, I think, because it looked like Osmond was off in his endeavours to get the play going and had the hand pass run down, but the umpire said no, go back and kick over the mark. Kicks high to half forward, tapped away by King. Now here's Osborne again. He gets the hand pass out, Glenn Osborne. Goes backwards. The kick's nearly a turnover. Cavalot couldn't grab it for the Eagles. They've got support again. Hurried boot towards the boundary line before McNamara could get there for the Magpies. Slightly attacking side of the wing for Cranbourne. It'll be thrown back into play again. 10-6-66. Sorry, 10-8-68 to 4-2-26. The margin 42 points. Both teams have kicked pretty accurately today. Back into play. Hurried boot the ball by Anthony Valla. Fisted down. Now here's a chance for Ryan Davey. He runs onto it. He kicks it towards half forward. And that is an excellent mark. Under immense pressure, Gardner, the skipper, stood his ground and takes the mark at right half forward.
He needs to kick this down if they've got any chance. I know their famous last words, but we're just about at the 3/4 time buzzer, and he doesn't kick this, they're in big trouble. Now he's going to have to kick this to that right behind post.
And all of a sudden the wind's picked up, Coach.
He's got the wind slightly in his face, but it's anyway. Yeah, I'll leave you to describe it.
He wants it to fade it back, doesn't he? So he kicks right across the face. No one can take the mark. Hand pass comes out from Narre Warren. It's kept alive, and then only momentarily as Scalzo is taken. And I should say Stagg, 37. I didn't see the 7. He's taken in a tackle and virtually upended.
He didn't kick through the ball, Dan.
No.
Just tried to caress it through, and of course, look what happened. No
30 metres out. Back into play. Holt, the big fella, tries to knock it down with a roundhouse right. Dylan Quirk gets the hand pass out.
It's on
Ben
the full
King,
right on top of
it's coming to us, Coach.
Hey!
Oh, bang! We're still alive, though. We're still alive. Oh, whack. And B. Hugo will...
I knew it was going to land on top of us. think some of the players would love to see our heads get
Oh,
belted
absolutely.
down. Some of
Lucky
the
foot,
fans.
green and pink. That's a beautiful little foot pass, isn't it? And Wall shot takes it. He'll kick quickly to Big Wen, who has been manful today. Takes the mark at centre half forward. And he's saying, what about bringing the man back on the mark? I've done a lot of umpiring. My attitude would be you just do the umpiring and see if you can have a shot at goal. They need this. Again, he's kicking into a bit of a breeze, Big Wen. We know ruckmen don't normally connect.
Won't make the distance.
He's trying to, well, head right for it to come back left. Big fist away by the Magpies, and then a player was taken high. I thought he ducked his head, but he'll get the free kick foot, and he kicks it wide out to Davies. Davies a handball now. The running machine Zeetzman. Zeetzman kicks down the wing on the outer side, and it spills to the back. And that is three-quarter time. After Cranbourne kicked the first 2 goals, Narre Warren have kicked the next 4 to put this game beyond doubt. They lead 10-8-68 to Cranbourne 4-2-26. A terrific performance by Narre Warren after Cranbourne certainly were coming early in the term. And then, as you said, Coach, there was a kick across the ground by the Cranbourne team as they tried to open up the play. They were unable to. It was a turnover, and then 4 goals in a row to Narre Warren to ensure that the 4 points will go their way. And the Cranbourne Eagles will suffer their 4th defeat of the season and stay in 3rd position in the run into the finals, which is a couple of weeks away. So a 42-point lead to the Narre Warren Magpies at three-quarter time. We'll take a break on GameFace's coverage of the SEFNL. Back with the final quarter shortly. Welcome back to Kalora Park. Narre Warren and the Magpies in that quarter kicked 4 goals to 2. Cranbourne kicked the first 2, and then Narre Warren kicked the last 4 to just about put this game beyond doubt. 10-8-68 to 4-2-26. The Eagles will come home with the breeze, what breeze there is. Which picked up a little bit towards the end of that quarter when Narre Warren added those quick goals, Coach. But the problem with Cranbourne was they only added 1 behind in the second quarter and were very, very poor. They were a bit better in that quarter, but they've lost Lewis Valla in a sickening collision with an opponent, both going for the footy. Number 27 of Cranbourne, I hope he's okay. He did come off not looking in great shape. Well, there he is. But is that him there? In fact, he's actually recovered.
He's in the huddle.
Which is great news. That is great news. I thought he looked a lot worse than he, appears to be now, which is fantastic news that he wants to come back on. Maybe he was winded. I mean, I've been winded a few times, and it's not good.
I know for his family, they, if they're not here, some of his family aren't here, and some might be listening as opposed to watching. It's always good to know how a member of your family is doing. Of course, I've got a member of my family played AFL back in late 90s, early 2000s, and I can remember one time I was overseas and I had a friend actually letting me know when he got injured and taken off one time when he did his, I think it was his quad. Yeah, you can see Louis Vella. It's his right, he's holding his right ribs there. His right rib cage, his upper rib cage, so he's not going to go back out. But to his family, if you are listening, he's okay, but he's either done a cartilage or he's broken a rib. He'd probably know if he's broken a rib, but it could be just bruising as well. But as I was saying, it's good to know. It's because sometimes in footy, especially in high-level footy, you forget that the players are human beings, and we treat them as just, machines, as objects. But there are, of course, we all know footy clubs don't survive without families and without support from families and friends and girlfriends and boyfriends and all the rest. So in the end, it's really nice to know that the member of your family's okay. He's getting some treatment now, Louis. And I mean, as I said, it's easy for me to say he's going to be okay, but I know what cracked ribs or bruised ribs are like.
Absolutely.
And it's probably actually worse to have done a rib cartilage. Because my father did a rib cartilage as opposed to breaking a rib, because it really is painful and it's very difficult to breathe.
Well, I think both would be terrible. Now, Edithvale lead Frankston Bombers at three-quarter time in the first division of the MPNFL by 11 points. Mount Eliza will get a big win over Rosebud. Their advantage is 64 points in Adrian McBean's last home game for Rosebud, so not a good day for Rosebud down there today. Pines and Frankston YCW. Pines are thrashing Frankston YCW, and they're in great form, Pines. They're the most informed team in the comp at the moment.
Ever since we went down there, Dan. Ever since we went down there,
we are the good luck charm, Coach. No one else would agree with us. But
treated us well,
we're going to take that with us, aren't we? 57-point lead to the Pines over Frankston YCW. Have only scored 18. Sorrento have only got a goal lead over Seaford, and that's first against 10th, 56-50. And in the match between Bond Beach and Mornington fighting back well in the third quarter. Bond Beach, though, have a 3-goal advantage, 75-57. I'll check the AFL as well. In the big game between Hawthorn and Essendon, they're well into the third quarter. In fact, they'll be into the last quarter now. And it is Hawthorn, 4 minutes into the last quarter, 13-7-85. It's a great game. Essendon 12-5-77, while Brisbane have hit back against North Melbourne and only trail by 8 points. But the last quarter underway, it's a very interesting siren here, isn't it?
It is. It sounds like a police siren.
It does.
I thought I was getting...
Or a truck backing in.
Yeah, that does. It does sound like a truck backing in.
Free kick out of the centre straight away. Marusic will take it for Cranbourne. He got one high. His team need a number of goals in a hurry.
Look at that wind.
Bangs it long inside 50, and the wind carried that. But again, off hands, they've got the numbers as they clear out of defence again. The Magpies, their defence has been watertight today, and they're conceding 4 goals, 2 up to three-quarter time. An opportunity for Cranbourne, trying to get a hand pass out was Hugo, but he had it stripped, and Davies will take the free kick as he spots up a teammate, and that is Tonner. Gets the hand pass out to Cody, back to Tonner. Tonner is pressed. Over to Davies again, hurry to left foot, a wind gets in the road. The umpire says, touch, play on. Comes down to Marusic, then to Walshot. Walshot a hurried boot to ball, into the middle of the ground. Now they've got numbers. Good hand pass came out from Roscoe. He got the hand pass out to his teammate who drove it long, Hugo, towards the boundary, but didn't quite go in the direction it needed to go, and it goes out of bounds about 30 metres around from Cranbourne's goal at the cricket end of the ground.
They just blaze, Dan. That's the difference. They're just blazing. They got the wind, and he just put that on his boot and hoped someone was going to grab it at the end of the kick, and of course it didn't. Went out of bounds.
It's inferred pressure. Narre's pressure's been good all day.
Oh,
and
yes,
when the pressure's been up all day, a team starts to get it into their head that they're going to be pressured every single time. It can drop off occasionally. Cody gets it out from the stoppage. Good fist on by Shinners. But in the road, and he's been pretty quiet today, it's taken and cleared nicely by Ramak. He kicks towards half forward for the Eagles. They've got the numbers at ground level. Osborne had the hand pass run down. Number of players milling around the football, trying to get clear again. But the pressure is terrific from the Magpies. Loose ball in the middle of the ground. Anthony Valla, he's accosted as well. He's going nowhere. And the umpire says, I'll ball that up, boys. Good contest, though. 4-2-26 Cranbourne. Narre Warren, 10-8-68. The margin 42 points, early stages last quarter in our coverage on GameFace of the Sefnal match between first against third. Out of the middle and emerging with the ball, driving Cranbourne forward is Maruzic. He's been tireless all day. And then there's a hurry boot at goal from 15 metres out, and Cranbourne have kicked a goal. So well played Maruzic on that occasion. Normally hasn't been the right method. He just unscientifically drove it long, and waiting at the fall is Roscoe to snap a goal from 20 metres out and maybe keep the light flickering for Cranbourne. They're 5-2-32. They trail Narre Warren 10-8-68, the margin 36 points.
Just spoke to the Cranbourne physio stroke trainer Scott. He told me that Lewis Villa it looks like he's got bruised ribs. He's top left of his rib cage, but they are trying to get him back out, Dan.
Out of the middle again. Hand pass comes out from Cavalot, and good play Anthony Valla, Lewis's brother. He delivers with a daisy cutter kick around the outer side to Ramack. Ramack had the kick run down though as he got upended between halfback and wing for Cranbourne. Narre Warren kick back inside 50. Chance if he can get hold of it, Cox. But again, good play by Valla, running off halfback. Bertrand gets the hand pass out, a kick into the middle, but a turnover straight away. Great play by Papworth, he read it nicely. Handball comes out now, 30 metres out, a shot at goal. This will put it beyond doubt, and it will put it beyond doubt. Cox receives the hand pass and blasts it home. For Narre Warren, wearing the blue boots. Well done, Mitchell Cox. And they've got all the answers. 11-8-74 Narre Warren. Cranbourne 5-2-32. The margin back to where we started, Coach, at three-quarter time of 42 points.
They just know how to use the ball on that far side, don't they?
Yeah.
The Magpies it's obviously it's their ground. They know which way the wind blows, and they've obviously know every blade of grass in this ground. But when Cranbourne try to do the same thing, the ball ends up over near us as opposed to through the goals.
Well, that's right. It's a big ground, a long ground. If you look at it, there's a bit of a slope. Reminds me of Waverley many moons ago when I first started calling AFL footy back in '97.
Almost as cold.
Yeah, taken out of the middle, but taken to ground. And I thought he didn't have the footy skills of Narre Warren. They've got numbers at the back, though, as they get a hand pass out through Foot, who's been very solid across half back. One of those running defenders today. Loose ball, chance for Osborne. He's taken in a tackle. Good gang tackling by Narre Warren to ensure that the Cranbourne Eagles couldn't escape from that contest on the outer wing, and there's a ball up. So 42 points when doing the ruck work. He wins it down again. Derbyshire taken in a tackle. Lost control of it, holding the ball. Free kick to Colin McNamara on the wing on the outer side for Narre Warren. Their tackling's been excellent today. He'll dab it in short. And the mark taken for Narre Warren by Foot. Foot will kick across the face in front of our commentary position. Who'll recover best when the ball hits the ground? King does. But then he's taken in a tackle, but high after the ball was at ground level, and he goes in short, and Scanlon's on the end of it. Sorry, not Scanlon. The mark taken for Narre Warren by Sharp. It looks a bit like Scanlon. He's a left footer, and he'll be looking to swing it back. It's a good kick. Doesn't quite have the carry. Fisted down by Wen, as the mark was almost going to be taken by Narre Warren. Here's Collins. He keeps it alive with a hand pass back to Sharp, the man who kicked it originally. He sat on in the contest in the forward pocket by Ramack for the Eagles.
Oh, he's gone.
And there's another very good tackle laid by Cavalot, and the umpire says give it to me, as Irwin, who kicked a couple of goals in that second quarter against the Breeze, was taken to ground. Thrown up 30 metres out of Narre Warren's goal. When the tap taken by Anthony Valla, hard on the boundary, swings a kick to the wing, camped underneath it. Barker takes the mark now, just behind the wing. He'll look to kick down the ground towards half forward. Big Holt, who's been quiet today, kicked a goal in that first quarter, spinning by Derbyshire. Didn't take the footy with him. Good play by King. He charges through now for Narre Warren. Takes the footy. Gets the hand pass off now to Scalzo. Scalzo kicks it high towards half forward. Valla involved for Cranbourne. A fist from the side did well. Foot also involved in that exchange around the broadcast wing with a beautiful forwarding hand pass to Scalzo. Boundary thrown right on. Attacking 50, just slightly inside for the Narre Warren Magpies, whose lead is 42 points, early stages, final quarter on GameFace's coverage on the stream today of the Sefnal. Back into play. Wen taps to the back. And they both fight hard at ground level. Cavalot does well. Player couldn't get the ball out and therefore won't be penalised. And that's the big fellow, Shinners, who's up in the ruck, Trent Shinners. With Wen, as we've mentioned, he's managed to exchange in the ruck today with Papworth. Wen has done most of the work on his own. It's socket free by Anthony Valla. And now it comes out to Dixon, a hand pass from Wen. Kicks pretty quickly towards the boundary line. A tumbling kick out of bounds in between the two dugouts, right in front of the social club rooms, where they'll have a whale of a time tonight. Narre Warren, as they'll register another win. Their lead 42 points.
Especially against the Cranbourne side, who obviously beat them earlier in the year. This is going to be a special win for them.
Well, it will. They've only had the one loss this year, and they're looking good for the finals. Tap back by Wen, who really has tried hard all day today. Quick kick by Narre Warren, tumbling ball. And he doesn't have the man bun on. He's got the ponytail, Brandon Osborne. He sees it over the boundary line, just inside attacking 50. Opposed to Big Shinners, who'll do the ruck work.
When does it stop being a bun and one's a ponytail?
Well, the bun's on the top of the head, my understanding. And the ponytail is sort of in the back of the head. And when I look at young Dixon in front of us, his is a very small ponytail, not so much a bun. This is coming from a man who's bald, so I'm just guessing, Coach. Hurry, kick inside 50, and who cares? But we're going to try and make up something here as this match is sort of coming towards an end. But we are enjoying what Narre Warren are doing. Escalzo tries to get it at centre half forward. Flicking hand pass comes out from Cavalot of Cranbourne. Missed the target. Going in very hard again with Scalzo, where Angel's fair to tread. He did well. We had 3 or 4 opponents around him. Just put the body on the line, swung inside to control the football and protect his body, and tapped it away from those prying eyes of very eagle Cranbourne opponents and kept it inside attacking 50 at the city end of the ground. Fisted down again. Chance now for a hand pass to come out. It does. On the end of it, Miller, but the umpire said there was a throw in that very, very tight contest in close, and it's a Cranbourne free kick to be taken by Derbyshire. Derbyshire, he'll go wide, and it's taken by Gardner, the captain. He'll bring it back inside again to Davey. Davey at centre half back will bang long for the Eagles. Down to the wing, 2-on-1 again, and winning the ball at ground level. He's been superb today. It's picked up fantastically on the left.
Clever.
It was very, very good on that occasion for the Narre Warren Football Club by Quirk. Ryan Quirk has just mopped up at half-back. Kick comes inside, attacking 50, and trying to hold it in is Tom Miller in the long sleeves. He's been moved forward in this quarter after spending a lot of the game in defence, and the umpire says, I'll ball that up again. Been a bit scrambly, a lot of ball ups today, so a lot of stoppages, which have favoured the Narre Warren Magpies. Tapped down by Shinners, but straight to Davey. Davey puts it on the boot for the Eagles, kicks into the middle of the ground, but at ground level they've got the Rovers. Tonner gets a hand pass out now to McNamara, throws it on the left boot, and the kick comes off nicely to Dempster, who's been solid. Dempster on the wing, kicks low and hard, inside 50, Collins goes up, can't quite take the mark, bringing it to ground as Papworth. Hand pass comes out from Dylan Quirk, sits now at half forward. Cox might have been taken forward in the tackle, the umpire let it go. Collins is taken back in a tackle by Brandon Osborne, then going without it, Derbyshire at half back for the Eagles. Now Dylan Quirk gets the hand pass out, hurry kick comes inside 50, but the mark taken by Walshaw. Walshaw kicks towards the half-back flank. Mark dropped down there by Roscoe. He's been good in the second half. He gets hotly pressed on this occasion. Good play by Nick Scanlon. He gets it now towards Miller, who kicks towards full forward, hooking a kick around the body. No one can take the mark, and the umpire will again ball that up 15 metres out from Narre Warren's goal. Bit of pushing and shoving. Bertrand involved for the Eagles. Tap down again. They get a hurried clearing kick, but it's still inside defensive 50. It's socked the wrong way by Derbyshire of the Eagles. Hand pass comes out from Dylan Quirk. Miller couldn't take it cleanly. Dylan Quirk goes in hard again, and he bumps his opponent off the line of the footy for the Cranbourne Eagles, and that is Glenn Osborne, who's also a bit of a bull as well. No mean feat. Thrown up again for about the 100th time in this quarter, 40 metres out, 42-point lead to Narre Warren. Hand pass comes out from Davey, and now charging through to try and lift his team as Anthony Valla has a bounce, kicks towards half forward for the Eagles. Bad bounce for Holt, who's had a dirty day today, the big man. At the back, they've got the numbers, Narre Warren. They've been terrific, their defence. They've always had at least one back, maybe two back, to put a lot of pressure on Cranbourne and forcing poor delivery inside 50, and it's going to be a free kick to the Magpies, who lead 11-8-74 to 5-2-32.
Dangerous times, Dan, because the game's been won. Both teams know that, and this is the time, neither team wants an injury. So they have to be careful here.
King to Tonner. And now to Stagg, who had the ball knocked away, and then he got it back on the rebound, and on the left he kicks down the line on the outer side, almost a mark to Cavalot of the Eagles. Hand pass comes out, very close to the boundary, and then a hurried boot comes in towards the wing on the outer side. It's still got the numbers, and he fumbled at Papworth and then got shoved in the back. And it's picked up by Davies on the advantage as he kicks towards the wing. They've got numbers everywhere. And Davies eventually received a hand pass from his teammate, and that was Ryan Quirk, who's been superb today, as we've mentioned. And again, they use the footy to King on the outer side. King has got a target out there, and Michael Collins at half forward. Collins will kick in towards the pocket. Cox allows the ball to go over the top, but eventually it was too close to the boundary. He couldn't quite control it. Out of bounds right beside the behind post, opposed to Cavalot. It will be thrown back into play. 1 goal apiece in the last quarter. Narre Warren 11-8-74. Cranbourne 5-2-32.
Couldn't be too long till the truck starts to back in, Dan.
No, it wouldn't be too long, Coach. That'll be the siren, of course. Boundary throw in. Dylan Quirk's taken an tackle as he tried to clear congestion, and the umpire said he didn't really have prior opportunity. We'll keep checking some scores as we come to the closing stages of this match. Hawthorn by 15 points, 13 minutes into the last quarter. Bombers are just about be out of finals contention if they can't win today, and they need 3 goals pretty quickly. As Cranbourne, with a chain of hand passes, has the ball around the outer side, and they use it pretty well. Dixon, a handball to Maruzic, tried to get it to Ryan Davey, took it without him, and then got hotly pressed in a tackle, shoved in the back by Papworth. Davey will flare it wide to Anthony Valla in the orange boots. Valla on the left, kicks down the line, a high ball, one-on-one. Derbyshire makes a good contest in front of the scoreboard. At half 40, knocks away, but in the road it's tidied up again by the janitor. He's done it all day in Ryan Quirk, and finds his brother Dylan, the club captain. Takes the mark, he squares it up into the middle of the ground now. Cody's been very good today. Again, he'll switch towards the broadcast side of the ground, and Dempster hurried kick towards the wing, had too much carry on it for Collins, and trying to burst his way through as well shot for Cranbourne. Taken by Maruzic, gets the hand pass on the outside to Dixon. Dixon's hand pass is pretty good too to Barker. Barker off one step, kicks inside 50, and there's going to be a mark or a free kick. The Cranbourne player probably had control of it. And it's great to see Louis Valla back on, Coach. He's taken the mark right of centre half forward.
He still doesn't look right though, Dan, but I suppose he wants to get out there and be with his mates.
And he swings it long, and it was right the whole way. What he was doing was he was veering out, hoping it would fade back, as a lot of the goals have had to today, working with the wind, and he wasn't able to on that occasion. He went way too right, so behind. So haven't been too many behinds today. 5-3-33 to 11-8-74. The kick in finds Cody. Cody kicks to the outer wing. Cox, and again they've got runners around the outer side. Collins receives and goes in short, and Valla gives some attention, some unwarranted attention, to his opponent, who takes the mark, and that is Stuart Scanlon. He's been pretty quiet today, but still a handy player. In the long sleeves, kicks inside 50, toes it a little bit. Shinners brings it to ground, and then makes a good contest at ground level. Handballs out to Dylan Quirk. Taken now by Stuart Scanlon. Fends off a tackle. Hard on the boundary. His kick is into no man's land. And eventually it rolls away from Walshot before he can bend down and get it close to the boundary line for Cranbourne. It'll be thrown back into play. The lead 41 points.
It's really that third quarter, Dan. It's just let them down. They're competitive. Been competitive in this second half.
They didn't score in the second quarter either.
Second quarter, I should say. Yeah. Sorry, yeah. And the latter part of that first quarter. So they've probably about 1.5 quarters that have let themselves down. Of course, now the margin's out to, what is that, 41
42
points?
Now. It's fisted through for a behind from the boundary throwing. 11-9 to 5-3. So the Eagles will suffer their 4th loss of the season. That's a big kick with the wind into the middle of the ground. Coming out to take the mark is the big fella. Trying to get involved, Mark Holt, the train. And he is behind the wing.
More like a tank.
He will kick long and low. Mark dropped down there by Richardson, but Zeitsman. He halts opponents down there to mop up again. Handball comes out wide to McNamara, who tends to make the right decision, and he'll find a player in the middle of the ground behind the wing. That's Cody. Handballs to King, spinning by. He gets confronted.
What was that?
And he turns it over straight away to Davey. He just panicked, and that was poor play by King. He just didn't know what to do, and Barker takes the mark, and he'll pop a half-distance pass, which doesn't find the target, but taken brilliantly by Roscoe. He finds Holt. Holt is 50 metres out. He kicks long to full forward, and it's just knocked through on the line by Richardson for a behind. And it's 5-4-34 Cranbourne, 11-9-75 Narre Warren. Margin back to 41 points, approaching time on final quarter on the GameFace scoreboard. Now coverage of the Sefnal as McNamara is back into play. He goes short to Skelzo, who kicks down the line to Ryan Quirk, who takes the mark. Around the outer side, he kicks to half forward, attacking it hard. Big Shinners, he's been almost today. He certainly tried to take a few contested pack marks, Trent Shinners, and hasn't quite been able to get that ability to hang on to them all. In fact, not many of them at all, if you know what I mean. If you understand that, you're a better man than I. It's a boundary throw in at half forward. Into attack now, Narre Warren. And Shinners wins it down. Players milling around the contest. Cranbourne a chance to clear it, but again, Narre have got the numbers. A defensive hand pass as Brandon Osborne lays a tackle, and there's going to be a free kick against Narre Warren because the player ducked his head. And fair enough against Davies.
Oh, he's caught with the ball.
It was, but he did duck his head too. Getting around an opponent and driving his team long is Hugo towards the scoreboard in that dead pocket down there where there's a bit of a ridge. Looking at it from the timekeeper's box, and we thank the Narre Warren Football Club for looking after us today and putting us in the timekeeper's box at half forward. And there's a boundary throw in on the outer side of the ground. In fact, it's thrown up just inside the boundary on that outer side of the ground. McNamara did the ruck work for Narre Warren on that occasion. Margin 42 points. Trying to get free is Davey. Got the hand pass out, and there's a shot at goal by Derbyshire behind. Just threw it on the boot. Ended on the right-hand side. And they're getting a few behinds late in the match. Margin 40 points. 5-5-35 to 11-9-75. Narre Warren by 40 points. So it's been a good performance by the Magpies today. 3 goals to none into a slight breeze in the second quarter, as coach said, set it up. And then 4 unanswered goals late in the third quarter after Cranbourne kicked 2 early in the third term. Put it to bed as the kick from McNamara comes to the outer side of the ground to a contest. Players at ground level. Harvey kick comes out of the pack. And it'll be taken by Miller. Or did he take the mark over the boundary? Tom Miller took it over the boundary for the Eagles and win with the free kick for Cranbourne. We'll drive it long. Inside 50. Tap to the back. They've got numbers down there. Skelzo got the hand pass out. Cox had trouble finding a handle on it. Eventually did. Got the hand pass back to Skelzo. Got the hand pass to Collins, who fumbles as well.
Dropped it.
He's a ball, but he's got support now. Cox has it with the blue boots. He is confronted and under tremendous pressure. Gets the hand pass out. McNamara combines nicely, and he delivers to the wing on the outer side. And that's good play by Tonner. Handballs back to McNamara. He's like a running machine. Just keeps going. Indefatigable he is. There's a good word, coach. Kicks towards the wing on the outer side at ground level. Cover lot for the Cranbourne Eagles. Got the hand pass out towards Ramack, who gets a little kick towards the boundary. A daisy cutter. Ryan Davey hugging that boundary. Kicks very close. It's kept alive again by Derbyshire. Derbyshire tries to spot up Roscoe, and Roscoe runs into space underneath the scoreboard. He plays on quickly, he kicks to full forward, and it had enough spin on the kick to just clear Skelzo, and the mark taken by Valla. That's Anthony Valla, very close.
He's had a good game, Valla.
He's been one of
he's probably their
Cranbourne's
best
today.
Probably their best.
That was good movement by Cranbourne. They finally were able to kick the 45s and go from one side to the other. He elects not to have a shot at goal. He felt he didn't have the distance in his legs, those tired legs, but he does find a teammate who marks in the right forward pocket. Just loose marking for one of the first times today. And there's a very familiar car, YAU 734 in the forward pocket.
That's yours.
It is mine.
That's
Thank you,
yours.
Coach. You've got a beautiful car park for us. Yes. Nathan Gardner will have a shot at goal. 30 metres out and a 45-degree angle.
The wind gets this, it could go right on your windscreen, Dan.
Well, yes.
Bang. I don't know how much you hate spending money.
Oh, thank you, Coach.
No, he's missed it. He's missed the car as well. He's missed the car.
He's put it straight through the middle.
That's what I'm saying. He's missed it. He's missed the car.
Yeah, he's missed
Kicked
the
the
goal.
goal.
Well, I thought he'd missed the goal as well, but he's kicked the goal. That was most important. He steered it nicely through Gardner, the skipper, who's battled manfully as well. So they certainly have not put the cue in the rack, Cranbourne. They've battled hard in this last quarter, 6-5-41. So they've outscored Narre Warren, which obviously a coach would like his team to do when the game seems out of control, or certainly lost as it was at three-quarter time. Narre Warren are 11-9-75, so the margin 34 points deep into the final quarter of this match.
Both teams are playing finals. They both know that. So, you know, it's not the loss that they probably needed to have, but it's not a loss that is going to hurt them either.
Win a roundhouse right, loose ball on the wing, turned over by Stagg, who's been superb down to Big Shinners, who again can't quite get a handle on it. And he's going to be penalised, free kick, and it'll go the way of Cranbourne, and the recipient will be Thomas Marks, who's been pretty quiet today. Marks on the outer wing, again steers the pass towards half forward. Easy mark taken by Richardson of Narre Warren. Out now to McNamara. He's been on his own all day today. He just knows where to run. Five-time premiership player for the Narre Warren Magpies. In short to Collins, had a couple of options. Tonner was one, but he went for the veteran, who kicks towards the wing again. Sitting duck there for Stagg. On the run again, hand pass comes out from Sharp. Running is Miller. Miller does well to spot up a player who takes the mark at half forward, and that is Dempster. Dempster will kick into the pocket again, and they're still running the Magpies. And there'll be a shot at goal here.
Nick Scanlon, is it?
I think it's Nick Scanlon. Yep. In the right forward pocket, hard on the boundary. He looks a bit like Sharp, and we can see Sharp running towards the goal square there, hands on his knees.
Looks like
so
his
it is
brother.
Nick Scanlon.
Nick looks
Well,
like
Braden
his,
Sharp looks like Nick Scanlon, but I don't think they're related.
They're not brothers.
No, they're not brothers.
So you can not look like somebody but not be brothers.
But out in the footy field, they can look exactly the same, and you look at them up close and you think, I need to go to the optometrist. They look nothing alike. Anyway, Scanlon, hard on the boundary, looking for his fourth goal to add icing to the cake, and the icing's melted behind. 11-10-76 Narre Warren, Cranbourne 6-5-41, the margin 35 points. He kicked 3 goals in the first half, Scanlon, to give him 38 for the season. And he is a 6-time premiership player in this very successful team. Narre Warren, as they aim for another flag, and the last in the Sefnal comp before most of the teams go to the Yarra Rangers comp next year to make it a 3-division competition. High kick will come straight back because a good mark, attacking side of the centre square, the almost man, but he took the mark on that occasion, Shinners. He has been pretty reliable though. Kicks inside 50, but that kick drops miles too short, and that's a pretty comfortable mark taken for Cranbourne by Bass. Bass's kick has nearly turned over. In fact, it is turned over at half forward. There'll be a shot at goal by Tonner. He tried the short pass to try and bring it back infield on inboard, and the Narre Warren players have been awake to that all day. It's been chopped off and turned over. Tonner gets on the end of it, and that puts the icing on the cake. It didn't melt on that occasion. It's 12-10-82, and they've doubled Cranbourne's score 6-5-41, and Josh Tonner finishing off nicely.
Gee, there's a lot of icing on that cake, Dan. I'll tell you what, we're going to put a bit around the tummy there if we keep on eating all that icing, because they've been icing for about the last 2 quarters.
Essendon have kicked a late goal. 30 minutes and 25 seconds gone the last quarter. They're 15-7-97. Hawthorn are 15-11-101.
I'm a long-suffering Bombers supporter. I don't want to know.
Well, the Bombers have only got themselves to blame for early in the year as Quirk comes out of the middle. That's Dylan Quirk, and he has almost decapitated Miller with one of the best passes you're likely to see. A bullet-like pass, which went about 40 metres and about 5 metres off the ground. That was superb play by Dylan Quirk, the hard-running captain of this side, the midfielder. And Tom Miller, who might be a future captain, right half forward to try and kick another goal in the closing stages.
Is this icing, Dan, you think? Or not? No? Yes?
Might be.
He's not going to make the distance.
Cream, is it? To the top of the square, the kick, and Wen decides he wasn't going to mark it, so he fists it through for a behind the big ruckman for the Eagles. And they're now 14-9-93 to 6-5-41. The margin is 52 points.
Comprehensive.
It has been. North Melbourne by 17 points over the Lions at the Gabba to keep their finals chances alive. As playing onto himself as Bass, kicks straight down the middle. No mark taken. Falls to Wen of the Eagles. Handball comes out. Now in the direction of Davey. Davey got run down because he didn't really have a player on the outside until he saw Anthony Vella late. He comes in late and eventually gets his boot to ball as he kicks down the line towards young Roscoe. Has 2 to beat and Roscoe has taken without the football. Just to paddle it in front of him is quite clever, and he'll take the free kick in the forward pocket at the cricket net's end of the ground here at Narre Warren.
Vella's got cramp. He's been running all day. You can see he's lifting
really
his
good today.
Yeah, I thought he might have done a quad or something, or a calf, but it's just cramp.
So, young Roscoe's had a good second half. The left footer, right forward pocket. He's a right footer, I should say, and that's a good looking kick off the boot that again is gun barrel straight. They've certainly used the wind pretty well in this last quarter down at that cricket net's end of the ground. The 7th goal on the board, 7-5-47, late in the match for Cranbourne. Narre Warren 15-11 at 101, the margin 54 points.
12-11.
Is it 12-11? Sorry, 12-11-83. I'm going, yes, 12-11-83 to 7-9-51. The margin's only 32 points. Sorry, Coach.
That's all right, Dan. I'm older than you, but my eyesight obviously is better than yours.
Correct, 12-11-83 to 7-9-51. 32 points. Tap down in the middle. One down by Narre Warren. But again, the hand pass comes out from Collins of Narre Warren after Cranbourne, I should say, won the ruck contest. And then putting his body on the line was the ruckman who was involved in that originally. And that's Thal. And he got himself into a bit of trouble. I thought he got hurt, but a quick kick comes in for Narre Warren inside 50. Waiting at the base is Cox as he spins out of a tackle. Got it to Nick Scanlon. He took too long to have the kick. Got the kick smothered. Picked up on this occasion. A swing at the goals across the face. Good effort to try and get boot to ball with Stuart Scanlon, but it rolls right across the face. No score, and the Eagles will defend on that outer side of the ground, and they'll bring it straight through the middle through Thal. Try to get the hand pass to Davey, but it's chopped off again. Here's a chance now for Dempster. Dempster taking a tackle, still swings a hand pass out to Stewie Scanlon. High kick by Stewie Scanlon. No mark taken, and there's the siren. Wins a Narre Warren. Just one loss this season for the top of the table. Narre Warren Magpies in the Sefnal, and they've beaten Cranbourne, who suffered their 4th loss of the season. 12-11-83 to 7-5-47. The margin 36 points. So a terrific win. It was a good effort in the last quarter, coached by the Cranbourne team to at least outscore Narre Warren, but 23 scoring shots to 12. They had the game won probably by half time.
Well, I think if they'd played with the same intensity that they came out and played, let's say, the first 15 minutes of that second half, like the third quarter, if they'd have played like that in that second quarter, they wouldn't be looking at a 36-point defeat. They still might have been beaten, Dan, but I don't think they would have been beaten by as much. And I think the coach he'll be happy that they've come back and they've fought it out right to the very end, but he won't be happy with the fact their intensity, especially halfway through the first quarter, all the way through the second quarter, the intensity just didn't seem there. It seemed to be there. They were not really picking up targets. They didn't seem to have any sort of structure, and they were kicking with the wind in that second quarter, and were hoping the wind was going to get them over the line. But of course, you can't rely on the wind to get you over the line, and this is a very tricky ground to kick. You can tell that even the Narre Warren players, who obviously have played here, and you're talking about guys who won 5 or 6 premierships, been playing here for years, you could tell even they had difficulty with this swirly type wind. So you can't rely on the wind. You've still got to keep your structures and stay strong and keep your separations. And in the end, just a great win by 36 points. And you'd have to say Narre Warren, Dan, on what I've seen today, gee, if they're not the favourites, they're pretty close.
Well, they're a terrific side, aren't they? I mean, they seem to have all bases covered. They've blooded a lot of under-19 players this year, have been superb. Tom Miller's one of them. Zeitsman's another. He did a pretty good job on Mark Holt. Mind you, the delivery to the big fellow wasn't great, and Zeitzman wasn't on his own all day. Richardson, who's a taller player, also a young player, was often 2-on-1 against Holt, so it made it hard for Mark Holt to have an impact. But their midfielders, experienced midfielders, Dylan Quirk has been around a long time, and Colin McNamara was always on his own to be the link man out of half-back or through the middle of the ground. Michael Collins knocks up getting it. Ryan Quirk, Dylan's brother, was very good. He tidied up at half-back. Stagg was superb today. I thought his first half in particular excellent. Dempster played very well as well, and Cody. So, look, they just had too many options for Cranbourne, who battled hard. Vella, Anthony Vella, played really well out on the wing. Bertrand was standing up tall in defence, but didn't get a lot of support down there today. Cavalot tried pretty hard, but I thought Roscoe's second half was pretty good. And the big fellow Wen had the two ruckmen. He had Shinners and he had Papworth, and he just battled all day on his own and did a good job. But in the end, they were overwhelmed by a much better side who won comfortably 12-11-83 to 7-5-47.
Well, there's no reason to panic stations for the Eagles, but they've got to figure out a way when Holt. I mean, I suppose it's happened all his career when he's been double teamed and double tagged and sometimes triple tagged. They've just got to figure out a way that they can't just rely on him to kick his goals. He's 5 or 6 every week. You just cannot rely, especially once you get into finals, as you know. You're going to have to share the ball around. And everybody's going to have to play their part. But as I said, no need for panic stations yet for Cranbourne. But they're in the finals. Narre Warren in the finals, and they look very, very solid.
Now in the MPNFL closing stages in the first division match, Edithvale Aspendale against the Frankston Bombers, who are going to lose for the 3rd time in a row. But because Frankston YCW have been well beaten by Pines, they're still in the finals race, but need to find a way to win soon. The Bombers. Edithvale Aspendale by 29 points. And in other matches, Rosebud and Mount Eliza. Mount Eliza have won by 85 points. Pines by 33 over Frankston YCW. Sorrento by 34 over Seaford. And Bond Beach by 43 over Mornington. Just quickly checking the 2nd division updates. And it's be interesting to see a couple of results there. Dramana, we haven't seen a result like this though in football for a long time this year in this competition. Divisional football in the MPNFL. 175-point winners over Crib Point. Tyab in the 4th quarter lead Devon Meadows by 7 points. Coringal being well beaten by Chelsea, have been well beaten by Chelsea by 5 goals. Langwarren have beaten Somerville, even though Somerville fought back well in the second half by 23 points. Again, a poor last quarter by Ryers. Pearsdale have got away from them to lead by 21. And Red Hill have beaten Hastings by 26, which means Langwarren are in the top 5 with 1 round remaining. And we'll be able to give you full scores on the GameFace app right throughout the evening and into tomorrow, and we'll have all details on the footy show during the week. Thanks, Coach. It was fun. Thanks to Nick for setting us up today. Thanks to the Narre Warren and Cranbourne football clubs for looking after us, particularly Narre Warren for allowing us to be in the timekeeper's box here at Narre Warren, and we look forward to broadcasting the next round of Sefnal next week. Enjoy your football. Speak to you then.
Pencon Garden Supplies and Mini Mix Concrete is a family-owned business that has served the Mornington Peninsula magnificently for more than 50 years. For all your garden and building supplies, concrete, soil, sand and mulch, visit Bart and the team at 58 Peninsula Avenue Rye or call 5985 2252 or 5985 2998. St Andrews Brewery, using the finest ingredients, ensuring each beer is full of flavour and character.
Websites, videos, Google marketing, SEO. What do you need for your business? Call the team at Chill, they really know their stuff.
Low Farms, the Australian grower and supplier of rocket, lettuce, spinach and salad mixes.